Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing tonight? My name is Matt Jarbo. Welcome to Hollywood After Dark for the 9th of April, 2020. It is, we're getting closer. Well, not anymore. We have a couple months, but I was like worried about tax day. As a person who loves movies and talks about movies, I can write off all my movie stuff on my taxes, which is fantastic. I love that. I don't like that. I don't want to give Uncle Sam more money than I'm actually able to give Uncle Sam, which is not that much. But anyway, today's been another kind of slow day. Another kind of slow day. Not too much happening. I mean, there's a couple, I guess you could say little updates surrounding a couple little things, which we'll talk about here in a few. I put out some invites to some people. We'll see if they want to come on in, if they want to join. If not, that's all good. It's all cool. It's all groovy, baby. Hey, what's going on? Presentis. Yeah, of course. We're talking about Disney, 50 million paying subs. We're going to be talking about that here in a little bit as well. That's insane to me, though. I mean, November was not that long ago. November was 5 months ago. So, holy crap. Holy crap. 5 months, they got it. That's 10 million people a month. 10 million people a month signed up for Disney Plus. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I am odd, and I'm impressed because they even Disney, and they weren't expecting it to take to be that fast. Like the rate in which they have hit the 50 million sub mark is faster than like any of the guys from American Pie when they had sex for the first time. I mean, it's faster. It just was like, oh my god, so fast. But it's not. I mean, but let's think about this though. Like, let's look at the idea here involving the whole situation with the pandemic, right? COVID-19. I can say that, can't I? Coronavirus. What a China virus. I don't like that term. I don't like the term China virus because to me that comes across like you're kind of being a bigoted prick, because there's vitriol behind saying China. So that's how I view it. But COVID-19, no, it's a good time. People are home. They have kids. They need daycare. Why not $7 a month for Disney Plus? It just makes the most amount of sense. It really, really, really does. What is going on, Taylor? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming by last night. I know you've only watched like 1 or 2 episodes of the show. I hope you've gone back and watched more, or at least enjoyed the discussion enough to want to go back and watch more. If you guys missed last night, instead of doing a normal stream, we did the first ever It Came From Netflix, which is a full-on hour and like 50 minutes long discussion about the entirety of the Tiger King docu-drama. That's a good way to describe it. On Netflix. And of course, I chose, knowing me, always me, I choose the 7-hour investment of your time in order to have a conversation with for the first one of those. I should have chosen something a little bit different, but that's okay. We got some shows coming up. We got some movies coming up, shorter things that will be easier to digest. In fact, even my girlfriend tonight was like, why don't you just go watch more movies? She's like, you have lots of downtime. And I looked at her like, what downtime? I can't sit there and watch a horror movie when I'm with our 2-year-old. I don't want to scar her that bad yet. Let's wait till she gets older. I want her to appreciate, I want her to appreciate the pure horror that John Carpenter crafted in The Thing. I want her to experience the delight and terrifiedness with Wes Craven's Scream. And I want to show her Spice World just because that movie's awesome. But that being said, there's always a lot going on. All right, so Loose Johnny here says, well, I will watch Tiger King later tonight. That's good. You should totally watch it. Now, one person coming on in right now who hasn't seen Tiger King and won't want to discuss Tiger King is, of course, friend of the show, Jeffrey. How are you?
Better than Custer, Matt. How are you?
Well, everyone is better than Custer, unless it's Custer's Last Revenge, the old porn Atari game, if you are familiar with that one.
Joke, Matt.
Custer's Revenge, that's what it is, right? It's just you just spurting the whole time. I don't know. It's before my time.
You basically just explained the joke. The point of the joke is that, yes, everyone is better than Custer.
No, but I'm referring to a video game that was made in the early 80s for the Atari 2600, of which you play Custer, and it's a sex game.
Yes, I'm aware. I've seen the photos of
It's
that.
and so we're on different pages here, Jeffrey. That's okay.
I know what you're talking. I know the game you're talking
That's
about.
good. I'm glad. I am glad. I'm glad
You're
you
like
know.
everyone's doing better than Custer, and I was trying to
Because
say
he's
yeah,
dead.
Exactly. That's
Everyone's also doing better than Nicole Brown Simpson. Ooh. Or Joe Exotic. Because he's locked up with coronavirus right now.
Oh,
yes. Do you hear about that? He's got coronavirus and like they won't let him like go to like the ER. Like they're not letting him out or some shit like that.
Is that true?
Yeah, that he's got corona?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the reports are saying. TMZ is getting ready to drop one hell of an expose on Monday that I'm looking forward to watching. But of course, Netflix is coming out with this behind, like they're doing this reunion special. Did you hear about this one?
No. Yes, the Joel McHale one.
Yeah, it looks dumb.
Yes.
Like the trailer was dumb. I know that it was like a one take Joel McHale trying to make a joke out of it sort of thing. But it wasn't funny. Like that's it. Okay. Like I heard you say on the other stream, you're not a fan of Tiger King. Okay. But I think you will at least be with me on this one. So I think you will be have you seen Making a Murderer?
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Okay. Have you watched it?
Parts of it.
Okay.
Not the whole thing.
That's fine. But you're aware of it. You've seen parts of it. Okay, cool. Now it takes itself seriously, does it not?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so it takes itself seriously. Holy shit, everyone's in here. Let me bring in Lunga and Max and then Lewis. Awesome. So hold on, guys.
It's packed.
It is packed. It's a packed house right now. That's great. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, let me get to this. Let me chime you guys in on this point. Have all of you seen the Joel McHale promo for the Tiger and I?
Yeah, I saw it on the John Campea show earlier.
That's fantastic. He does a lot of good coverage, and it's good that you watch him to get true, up-to-date, unbiased, pro-Canadian movie commentary. Soon to be pro-Seattle, which is like, God damn it, I live by Seattle, and so John can't. Oh wait, I could use that as a caveat. I could hit John Campea.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about he's moving to Seattle. Yeah, he's literally moving to Seattle. Yeah, his wife got a job at Amazon.
Oh,
right. Here's what I don't get to. I just have to say this real quick. Here's what I don't get about Campea. Dude pulls in at least 15, 20K a month, right? If not more. Yeah. The views on YouTube, the daily super chats, the daily tips, all that stuff. He was even streaming right now playing Animal Crossing. You know,
I knew you were lubing up to him.
I wasn't. Well, hey man, listen. What I'm trying to do is work an angle.
I'm still sub to him.
Yeah,
I'm sub.
You're also sub to Grace Randolph. We don't hold that against you.
And Geeks and Gamers.
Ooh.
Entertainment.
And you.
Well, and that's the worst one, Max. Don't you know? I'm a
okay.
I never regretted it.
Something is definitely wrong tonight when we're all talking a lot and Jeffrey's fucking the quiet one.
Well, because I was posing a question to Jeffrey, so I do want to. Let me just quickly recap. Okay, so the Tiger King and I, the new Netflix show coming out on Sunday, I think, right? Hold on, when's the 12th? The 12th is Sunday. Okay, so they're doing it Sunday. Joel McHale. Yeah, you were wrong. Yeah, I wanted to correct you earlier, but I wasn't going to be a dick about it.
For once,
for once. Just yeah. Well, I was trying to get you to post anal. I was trying to get you to post anal,
he
Robert.
was, fucker.
You were just like, because you were wrong about that Lizzie McGuire thing. It was not that they're moving it to Hulu. They wanted to go to Hulu. The showrunner ended up leaving the project.
Why did they get Joel McHale for everything?
But so back to that point. The Joel McHale thing.
Did he ruin a con once?
He's ruined a lot of things.
Yeah.
But he wasn't funny in that trailer. That trailer was really stupid. And then at the end, he's like, you're gonna learn a lot, and then I hope it's also really funny. And then I'm looking at that going, I don't want this. I don't want this to be funny. I don't want this to be a kind of a slapstick approach to like a follow up to this. You know.
Okay.
That's where I'm at because I know. Who'd we lose? We lost Robert again. Okay, that's fine. Like last night with Lunga and I talking about it with Robert. Thank you guys for being here. You know, we were having a good conversation about the whole process, about the whole show when we were taking it seriously enough. I mean, like Lunga, do you want to watch like a slapstick, dumb comedy version of trying to get info out of people?
No.
Exactly. I'm like, if did you see the McHale thing?
No, I didn't.
Let me hold on. Let me bring
Damn it, don't I look silly on YouTube? Damn.
Everything I've seen about this show is like a dark comedy.
It's like, really not
slapstick.
It's like fine, dark comedy. I will grant you a dark comedy. To an extent, I will definitely do that. But the way that I view it though, essentially, has more to do with the fact that this is telling a story where there were serious consequences. Here, okay,
Yeah.
this is let
People
me-
don't seem to take this show or situation seriously, though. To me, it's treated more like
there we go.
it's treated more like trash TV. Is the way it's being treated.
Yeah. Well, and this, if you look at this is Joel McHale from the promo today,
Yeah, I saw this.
right? And he's just
He
like
thinks he's funnier than he is.
he really does. I mean, like,
He's not. He's not that funny. To be fair, he's
Yeah.
really not that funny.
I just was like, okay, like this is kind of dumb because because if we were following up on all the news last night, the Trump thing was hysterical. The Trump clip was hysterical last night. That to
Yeah,
me is
that
like
was
that's the
funny.
kind of humor you want, where they talk about Trump going like, oh yeah, you want a pardon? I could look into this. My son wants him to get pardoned for crying out loud. It's like there's a lot there. So I'm hoping that they don't blow it, and I kind of feel like Netflix is going to blow it. I do.
Well, that's what's happening.
I'm super disappointed. I was so hyped for my theory, and that would have made so much. That would have been so much better
Wait,
than
this
it.
disproves you, Max?
If it's true, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So wait,
Max,
well,
are
no.
you saying this show is a hoax?
No, I'm not saying the show is a hoax. What I'm saying is, okay, Netflix didn't predict the coronavirus. They didn't predict the outbreak. They didn't predict the quarantine. So Tiger King coming out and it being 34.5 million views in the first 10 days, it's been the number one on Netflix now for weeks. Clearly people are binging the hell out of this thing and it's taken over the conversation. They did not plan this. So they are trying to capitalize on it in a way that is going to net them more publicity, which means more subscribers and more money. That's the whole point.
That's what
So-
they have to do when you have
Yeah,
something like this.
I completely agree. I do. I'm not against what they're trying to do. When I look at that promo and how cheap it looks and how dumb it is and how it's trying to be slapstick parody version of this story of where there was, a murder for hire plot. There were tigers that were being, quote unquote euthanized, all that stuff. It's like I don't want them to sit there and make fun of it. I want them to maybe have a laugh at the absurdity, but to treat it with some seriousness.
Well, Matt, that's how sort of the rest of the world sees this situation, and I agree with the sentiment, but the way they're playing this off because it's basically meme fodder, and they're treating it like meme fodder, and this is what happens when you have something that sort of trends like this. You basically, the people in charge, like, oh man, we have to sell this as much as possible, and then they find a trend. And when you find a trend, the basic process is to kill it. Basically, they've hit on this trend, and they're going to kill it until it dies.
Are we gonna watch it or no? The promo,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Well, I can bring up the promo for you. Yeah. Hold on a second.
because I didn't
Hang on.
see it. You crushed my world tonight, man.
I-
I was
I- well,
on a
okay.
high until I came here. Sorry.
Well, that's what I do. So welcome to
Yeah.
the party, pal.
I feel like a Doom pod.
Oh, so small. Okay, no, where did I delete? I didn't delete. Okay, hold on. How long is it? Is it over a minute? Or if it's like 30 seconds, damn it. I can't run it. I can't run it on here, upload it here because, well, here's what I can do actually. Here's what I can do. But because unfortunately StreamYard has got that.
Oh, you need
Stupid.
us to share it?
No. I've got it. I've got it right here.
Max, is your theory that this whole thing is a hoax?
Huh?
Is your theory, Max, that this whole thing is a hoax?
That the Joel McHale thing is a hoax?
No, the Tiger King.
No.
No. His theory was about that they're doing that Netflix announced that there's an interview with Joe Exotic and that he believes David Spade is going to be the one doing the interview.
Because he was on Ellen today, and then they weren't answering certain questions on Ellen, and his history with Netflix, and
Maybe for a later interview, though.
Wait, who's going to be interviewing Joe?
Well, Netflix just confirmed that there was an interview with him in jail.
Okay. But who does Max think?
David Spade.
David Spade
David
will
Spade.
play Joe Exotic in this interview.
No, not play. No, that he would be interviewing Joe Exotic because David Spade has interviewed just about everybody else
Yeah.
who's on the show.
Well,
except
yeah.
Matt Carroll.
Even then, I think it may have already happened, and that's why he was doing the other interviews, and that's why he was on Ellen, and they were talking about all the interviews he got, and he's like, "Oh yeah, and one's in jail." And then like, well, what about Carol? They completely brushed past like, why won't you interview John or Joe Exotic? And that was
Well,
my
I
theory.
mean,
It
they
was a
might be
good
trying.
theory.
Well, they might be trying to work it out.
Okay.
You know, a lot of jails have certain rules that you have to go through, right? You can't. It's not just like, you can call people almost all you want, but to set up a video thing is going to take time. So, or it's going to take permissions.
Can I just be real? Joel McHale's kind of like a douche. Though that time he did that game conference, he just doesn't. He takes jobs he does not care about.
He should not have done VGX. He should not have done. But I will say this though, that was the first time we all got to see No Man's Sky, so it wasn't all bad, and it was the first public outing of Dying Light, which is one of the best zombie games ever made. So it wasn't entirely a shit show, but yeah, he was bored.
Don't you agree? He just takes stuff just to get a paycheck. It's very obvious and just.
Yeah. Did you happen to watch him at all? Bring back like the Joel McHale show to Netflix?
Mm-mm.
It was terrible. The Soup was really funny when he was on the Soup.
That's the thing. The Soup I like, but
Then he got a big head.
I like
funny.
Community.
Well, he didn't write Community.
Yeah, he didn't write it. He was just like, but as far as like the Soup, I like because it was one-liners. That's what he's good at, is those one-liners. You know what I mean? On what he sees.
Way back in the
makes
day, I
one-liner.
interviewed Joel McHale.
Okay. And
I
you
don't
interviewed
believe
a douche.
it doesn't
What's your point?
exist. That interview doesn't exist. I
It
don't
happened
believe
about 10 years ago. It was at a.
it. Where's the
it was
proof? I don't believe
It was
it.
at a Splinter Cell event, and he was a very cool dude at the time. He was nice enough to give me some time, and
Well, Jeffrey, you think anybody
good
who'll
time.
give you the time is cool, dude. So
I'm just saying, I met him. I met him, and he was very nice to me.
is Lewis still alive down there?
I don't know.
No.
We don't know. We don't know what's going on with him right now.
I'm here, dude.
But no, I agree with Max. Joel McHale is kind of he's kind of a cock. So, yeah. But just if you guys haven't seen this yet, watch this. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Okay, because I'm literally
I
playing.
guess there goes my Joel McHale interview. Sorry.
Well, I mean, you might after this, you might be able to. You might really be able to get an interview with him. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
I'm Joel McHale.
Yeah.
There's a documentary series on Netflix called Tiger King. I highly recommend watching all 7 episodes. On April 12th, Netflix will release an 8th installment called The Tiger King and I. It's an after show hosted by me. I talked to a lot of people involved in the project. Jeff and Lauren Lowe, Saf, Eric Cowie, John Finley, John Renke, and Rick Kirkham to see what's happened in their lives since the release of the series. It's eye-opening and hopefully funny. So watch The Tiger King and I, April 12th on Netflix.
Why?
Yeah, nothing about that is should be funny.
I mean, David Spade's been doing it already better. I mean, we don't know for sure until we see it, but damn.
Well,
Missed
I mean, like
opportunity.
the person I want to hear more about is Rickham, right? I want to hear more about like what happened to him after that whole thing burned down, and when he exited, and like Jeff and Lauren Lowe, what's going to happen? What's going on with that 40-acre place? I don't want to say too much because Lewis hasn't seen it yet, so it's like
Actually, I'm gonna take off because I gotta do a few things, and then I gotta set up for a show. I'm gonna try to start streaming in the morning as well.
Oh wow.
So,
wow,
but
you're
that-
going to be a stream machine.
Yeah, dude. I mean, since you know who's heading to live with you and over there where you're
That
at.
doesn't mean he's going to stop. You're not going to get the time slot. I don't know.
Well-
You could do is you got to either pick 10 a.m. or 8 a.m.
I'll
That's
pick
got to be
9,
your
dude.
slot.
Dude,
That's
we'll
the
pick
same time
9.
he goes live. That's challenging, campiest time
Who
slot.
cares, dude? I'm Cuban. I don't give a shit. I just fucking make them
Yeah.
go out of business, bro.
Sure.
We don't just
That's-
we don't just give up. What are you talking about?
Hey, just say hello to my little friend.
Yeah, we give the
It'll-
people an alternate. Not
it'll-
everybody. Not everyone waxes on, waxes off to the little.
It's gonna be
the
it's gonna
little
be more
Buddha
like
you do. Though.
it's gonna be more like say
Oh.
hello to my empty chat. Hello,
I
chat.
mean, no.
Click it. No, I
Matt,
think
why are you giving Lewis a hard time?
wow,
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey coming in for that white knight save.
At least now I'll get the benefit
Does
of
this mean
having
you're a Black Knight, Matt?
Oh.
Yeah, the coolest of all knights. Like I don't know what you're talking about. Like is that an insult? Are you the Black Knight? Tis but a scratch, bitch. Tis but a scratch.
Why are you?
As
getting
you lay on the
into
ground, just
What did he
a,
do?
a stump with no arms and legs.
Well, I'm a YouTuber, so that is how this works out. No, I like to give Lewis a hard time because it's funny, and he gives me a hard time, and we give you a
Everybody
hard
press-
time.
All right. No, I don't want to get spoiled because I'm gonna watch the show. Actually, by the end of the night, I'll probably have it all.
Wait, did you at least get to episode 5?
I'm on 3, I believe.
Oh, you got a ways to go, but
3
yeah.
or 4. Well, it's 7, right?
Yeah, it's like 7 45-minute long episodes.
Let me see. They already talked to the woman, about the husband part, about how like she's trying to pretend he had some sort of dementia or whatever. Like they talked about him flying planes. After that episode, that's where I'm at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah, no,
Um,
they're all good, but I feel it's a dark comedy, like a fucked up situation. But I don't know about this guy doing the interviews. But I'll talk to you guys later.
All right,
See you,
man.
Lou.
Thanks.
Have a good one. But so yeah,
At least I'll have the benefit of having a wrong video on YouTube, everyone correcting you. It's Joe McHale, it's not David Spade. And you get that engagement. When you make
I
a
would
mistake.
I would love to I would very much love to see David Spade play Joe Exotic in a movie. But then that to me would just feel like Joe Dirt 3. And I'm not
With
against that sort
tigers.
but with tigers this time, yeah.
The Dirt King.
The Dirt
So-
King. That would be a funny spoof of it. Yeah, if they did this. But the thing is, the story itself is so wild, you don't need to spoof it. It's like back in 2015, there was a Twitter thread from a stripper. Her name was Zola, and it was all about like a story about how she got roped into going to Florida to do like stripping, and it turned into this weird like stealing drugs from a dealer sort of thing, and blew up. It was big, and they made a movie out of it, and that movie comes out this year. So like that's on my top 10 list of things I want to see because that thread was nuts. I love it when Twitter threads do well enough to warrant making their own movies.
Yeah.
Because that to me is just showing you like that's more when that shit's getting made and Hollywood writers are sitting there with like a drawer full of unproduced screenplays and they're like, why isn't it my turn? We'll get on Twitter and make some shit up. Like there was a dude last year on Twitter who told a story about how he bought a van and he knew that he found fake drugs, or he found a pound of drugs in the van. He got a call from the owner, the guy who sold it to him, who knew that he forgot the drugs were in there. He goes back, takes the drugs out, replaces them with like flour, reseals it, puts it back in the engine block, and then ends up like ripping the guy off for like, oh no, the guy offers to buy back the van for like $6,000 more than what he paid for it. Citing sentimental values, right? And he goes, it was basically like Colombian drug cartel. And this shit blew up online. Whole thing was fake, right? The whole story was fake. And the guy was just a writer trying to get some stories out there. But what happened was people thought that it was real. And then all of a sudden, he started getting like basically death threats from real Colombian drug dealers. Like he was saying, like, he's like, I'm getting threatened by people with a Colombian accent. Like, no, this is not real. I didn't actually do this. So real life can be way more interesting than movies. That's why.
Like Lisa Nowak, which they made a movie about.
Who?
The astronaut in a diaper story.
Oh yeah, but they totally fucked that movie up.
Interesting thing. There's no evidence she was actually found wearing diapers.
Yeah, I know there's no evidence of that, but the diaper didn't even make it into the movie. And that's
Correct.
the most interesting part of that story is like the
that
rumor of the
part
diaper.
story was also sensationalized.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, she was a crazy lady who had an affair and then wanted the. I mean, we've all been down that path before.
I don't know.
Right?
She was crazy. I think she just had like a mental breakdown. Probably.
Generally, that means they're kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy all the time. Not crazy all the time.
That movie was a bad movie, right?
Yeah, it was something like it was called something like Up in the Moon or Under
Lucy
the Moon.
in the Sky.
Lucy. Oh, there we go. I saw the trailer for it and I was like, Natalie Portman. This is the true story. I'll pass.
It was a bad movie.
Yeah. So real quick, while we're here, I'll just pimp this one out. Be sure to go check out Darth Daddy Lunga on Twitch, and then also Max the Mandalorian, who is on Twitch as well. Because everyone's making the move to Twitch because YouTube hates
Yeah,
it. when we
because
live stream.
you.
Because of me? No,
Yeah,
no.
I mean,
Apparently,
I only did it because I on my live streams I'm doing both now at the same time.
Yeah, I'm well right now. I'm streaming to YouTube and to Twitch, but it's going to the archive channel for Hollywood After Dark. So I just saves right over there, and then I'm done with it, which is great. Last night though, oh my god, Lunga, holy crap, dude! I had to download the file, the whole thing last night,
Yeah.
which is about 3 gigabytes.
That was big. Yeah,
Was a big file, and then I edited out some of the flubs because there was a couple flubs in the beginning, and like I fixed like the audio of a few things, and then when I put it all back together. I didn't get to bed till like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I was like trying to do it. And then I think I put like a premiere. I premiered it at 4 a.m. So I just did like so people could watch it like at 4 a.m. Someone left a comment saying like, wow, only 6 people are watching. You're so popular. And I'm like, it was a live premiere at 4 o'clock in the morning.
yeah.
Like,
What are you expecting?
what do you expect, you dingus little bastard? I get the shittiest comments though. So that's just the whole point. But anyway, so you know, I heard you guys talking a little bit today about the Disney Plus and that 50 million.
Yeah.
You know, that's interesting because I mean that's some pretty big numbers and that's pretty quick. Do you
5
think
months.
that you think the quarantine sold that?
That's cheaper than one ticket to
Yes.
Onward.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
now it is.
with the quarantine,
mean-
sure.
When you think about what Disney Plus offers, it's really a bargain about how much content you can get on that service.
And I'm not boycotting Disney anymore. I feel bad people losing their jobs.
Because
I
look,
did. Yeah.
you get The Simpsons, you get most of the Marvel library, you get all the Star Wars films in high definition, you get all not to mention all those classic animated series. Have the X-Men animated series, which is really beloved. You were never really able to watch it all in one place streaming before in like a streaming library. And pretty much the entire Disney Afternoon library is in there as well.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you one thing. Before all this started happening, I was doing Blu-ray hunts at Best Buy. The most stocked was all the Disney titles since Disney Plus. There were so many copies of everything. I think people are saving money too, just going, why buy physical copies of Disney movies? Just do Disney Plus.
Well, I mean, yeah, Disney also likes to control the flow of those things too, because they'll flood the market. They'll flood the market, and then all the
I
retailers.
mean, it was
they'll stock
ridiculous the amount.
Yeah.
It was
No,
like,
well, Best
and
Buy-
everything else was just like 1 or 2 copies. Every Disney title had like 30, 40.
Yeah. They do that because it's a trusted brand and people will buy it, and so they flood the market with it. So then because they also it's part of a scarcity tactic. So they always like, you know, when they go, now for the first time in 10 years, Peter Pan remastered on Blu-ray 4K digital out of the Disney vault, right? So they put that kind of mindset out there so people think there's a scarcity. And so that whole FOMO thing kicks in, the fear of missing out. So people buy it. And then they go, oh, but now with Disney Plus, yeah, I mean, it's like, why? You know, like, I mean, I want to buy Onward on Blu-ray when it comes out or 4K because I do want to physically own it. But I've also watched it. I can't even tell you how many times I've watched it in the last couple of weeks because of my kids. I watched it again this morning. You know, I think we did Onward and then we did Toy Story 2. I've watched a lot of Pixar. Still refuse to do Ratatouille, though. I won't do it.
I finished Onward. It was
Ratatouille is
better.
good.
What's wrong with
Terrible,
Ratatouille?
terrible movie.
Oh, I
Terrible
love
movie.
that movie.
What?
That movie so it's literally the worst Pixar film. And I say that comparing it to Cars 2.
I think this is Onward.
You think Onward is the worst Pixar movie?
Yeah.
Holy,
I mean,
we'll
I
have to
don't
have talks
understand-
about
I
that.
still don't understand why you don't like Onward so
Cars
much.
2 and
Max.
3 are the worst.
I don't.
mean,
Yeah, I don't get it, Max. Do you have a father?
Yes.
That's why you don't like it because you can't sympathize with people who never had dads.
Wow.
I don't,
monster,
I don't
monster,
have a brother.
Max.
I have a sister.
Well, that's actually no. Okay, can I ask you this though? Because you watch anime, right? You brought that up. What are your thoughts on Full Metal Alchemist?
Oh, I like that a lot.
Okay,
I never finished it though. I have to go back.
Motherfucker, how could you not? It's like 50 Jesus, it's like 52. You will cry at the end, dude.
Yeah, I got to go back.
You gotta go like, dude. I don't watch anime, but I watch that.
Well, what happens is me and my wife start watching, and she gets so into it. I go work or something, and she just finishes it, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
forget.
yeah.
And I forget where we're at because then you look at on your streaming service, like what episode was I on? I can't even remember.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
it's
know,
already
that's why I didn't do Game of Thrones from the end of season 3 all the way into season 6. Those like 4, 5, and 6, I missed out on because my girlfriend was like, after the red wedding, she was like, I don't want to do it. And so I'm like, but then I kept trying to talk her into it. She kept saying no, 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 no. And then I just kind of forgot. And then all of a sudden she's like, she goes on a business trip to like North Carolina and she calls me and she's all like, we're watching Game of Thrones when I get home. And I'm like, what the fuck changed?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I'm in the hotel room. We have HBO. I watched an episode. Holy shit. Jon Snow was killed, but he came back to life. It was fucking insane. But we're going to go back and watch the episodes. And I'm all like, so you want to start where we left off? And she's like, no, we'll just go to season 4. You know, we don't need to revisit the Red Wedding. And I mean, so we did. We caught up on the show and it was great. But yeah, no, I get that. That's one of the reasons I have to force her to keep up with shows. Or I have to watch them with her.
With Onward, I didn't think it's just the animation wasn't exciting. The jokes weren't very funny. And then the fantasy, I want more fantasy instead of like present day used to be a fantasy
but
world.
that wasn't the kind of movie it was, Max. It was a family movie. And
I will say this. I do think that the Manticore was grossly miscast. As much as I love Octavia Spencer, her vocal ability did not match that character. And Tracy Ullman was also like the pawn shop lady. I sounded like she was Marge Simpson.
Well, that character was in there for like one scene.
Yeah, I know, but I still didn't care for the voice. And I love Tracy Ullman.
For the
I like the brother relationship. I do like that.
See, the reason I liked Onward a lot, but the reason I give it like an 8.5 instead of like a 9 out of 10 was because to me the parts that dragged were the Manticore and the mom subplot.
Yeah, and I understand why they had that subplot there, and I enjoyed Julie Louis-Dreyfus, and I thought like her stepping up to save her kids, I thought was awesome, you know. And so I really enjoyed that
They didn't need that though.
They didn't need it, but I still think it was nice to have that approach. Dan Scanlon was on Twitter the other day doing a tweet party, and he was talking about the making of the movie and how personal that story was to him. His dad had died when he was younger. His older brother helped raise him, and like even the whole thing with like having the audio recording of his dad on tape, and like listening back to his dad on tape. That was a true story. That was what.
Nice.
It was a personal movie, and
it was very personal. Yeah,
it felt real. It felt
watch
real.
it. When I first watched it, I was like, oh, that was all right. You know, and then like my kids liked it. So my daughter specifically. And so we pop it on again and you catch more details on the back and you start to kind of like unravel that brother relationship or that sibling relationship. And just like how one's the screw up, one's the too nervous kid. But just at the end there, when there's that revelation that you did finish it, right? Or you haven't finished it yet?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Like there's that revelation when he's like realizing like, I've kind of had a dad. You know, and like that to me, that fucking hit me hard, dude. Because I'm the eldest of 7, so like that shit hit me fucking hard. And then like him giving up that moment so his brother can have the closure was such a sweet moment.
Yeah,
that's
and so the emotional see, this is the thing. This is what separates Ratatouille from me, by the way, is the emotional notes that they hit in Onward. They failed to hit in Ratatouille because the messaging was all over the place. If you really go back and you break down Ratatouille as a script, the messaging is all Brad Bird fucked that up. It's like don't steal, but steal. Don't. I mean, it was so bad. Like it's like watching Frozen. Watch Frozen. It's the same movie, Ratatouille. They're the same fucking story, right? In regards to the failings, they have a point they want to make, and then they keep consistently failing to make that point. And then every time they get close, they deviate another direction and they cause their own plot hole. You know, and this hole in the logic, and it's not that was Pixar's weakest movie to me. Even though Cars 2 was god awful garbage, I hated Cars 2. It was terrible.
I mean, Cars is what's the audience for it though.
Yeah,
it's younger. It's fun. I defend Cars. It's fun.
It's Doc Hollywood. The first one's Doc Hollywood, beat for beat.
Yeah.
But then the second one's a spy movie, and then they have this big oil message, which makes no sense.
But they killed Bruce Campbell, which I didn't like about Cars 2. He was the American spy car, and they legitimately killed him off in the movie. But here's the reason why. Here's another reason why I hate Cars, or Cars 2 specifically, because that brought us planes. And I worked at a drive-in, and I had to suffer through 2 summers of planes. Of fucking Dane Cook, like, I'm a plane trying to make it in the big leagues. Shut up. shut up, don't talk, don't like because you know why they did Cars 2, Cars 3, planes, all that shit, because Cars did $1 billion in
The
merchandise.
toys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But see, even that, who we all grew up in the 90s for the most part. Who remembers the Chevron commercials? The Chevron commercial, you remember that, right, Lunga?
The dancing ones.
No, hold on here. I mean, if this is your first time seeing this, I am truly shocked. Chevron car commercials.
The stop motion ones with the talking, like
with the
sort of,
talking cars.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
don't
I've
mean
seen
that. I don't. I appreciate you having me on, but I'm getting really sleepy.
All right, man.
I could watch the Chevron commercial and I got to.
They're like claymation cars, and they're just sort of casually talking, like shooting the breeze, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you're telling me. I mean, if anything, this is completely something that Disney.
I like I think they could have done more with the concept. Honestly,
I know. I completely agree with you. I'm not disagreeing on that front. I grew up watching this stuff. This is
like
the kind of
I
stuff.
remember there were. I forget if they were WB or Disney, but there were these classic like 1950s
Oh,
shorts
okay.
with cars as people that I thought were like
Now I
fun. I thought
remember. Now I
if
remember.
cars could capture that, I felt like, well, I mean, the first movie did well actually, but whatever.
Yeah, well, the first movie it was that was a Lasseter project. So yeah, this is old. This is
The
from like
second
the
one
90s.
was the Lasseter project too.
Yeah, well, that was also, I think, I think Iger had a bit of a play on that one. That was more of the merchandising. That was to sell Cars Land at Disney.
Yeah,
That was,
we're gonna have a commentary about big oil in a movie about cars.
yeah, well, hey, Hollywood is extremely liberal. All right, so let's check this out.
They think, oh, well, there's that darn truck. It's time to go to the barn. I don't want to be ridden today. That's not my fault. I don't ride them. I just take them where they need to go. They blame me. Can you believe? But luckily, my owner, he takes care of me. He knows my engine's made for a high-octane gas like Chevron Supreme with Techron. And that Techron, it helps keep my emissions low.
No premium outperforms.
Yeah.
Chevron
I mean, that was a big thing back in the day, to the point
I
where
remember it now.
they had toys.
Toys,
You-
yeah, I remember.
That was that Wallace and Gromit animation.
Oh,
kinda
really?
thing.
I love those
Yeah.
guys. I love Wallace and Gromit. Aardman. I love Aardman.
Yeah.
They're
Are
fantastic.
they still making stuff?
Yeah, dude, they just did Shaun the Sheep
Yeah.
for a They did a movie for Netflix. It's all about zombies and stuff too. I need to check it out.
Oh.
I haven't seen it yet. But I was funny too. I was at the store. I was at Target yesterday and I saw Flushed Away was on the store shelf. And that was the one where I don't know if you saw the one. It was Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet.
It's one of the worst animated movies ever.
Yeah, well, you know why, right? Their studio burned down halfway through.
Oh.
So they were doing it in stop motion. The studio burned down. They lost practically everything, and they had to go back and remake the movie using computer animation. So it was an Aardman film, but it didn't feel like an Aardman movie. That's why, like Pirates, the one that I think followed up that movie. I love Pirates. I thought that was pure Aardman right there. I had so much fun with that movie.
I
Then
like Chicken Run. That was a
Chicken.
good one.
Yeah, that was a good one too. That was Mel Gibson, wasn't it? That was Mel Gibson and Roseanne. No, Roseanne was in another movie where she played a cow.
Mel Gibson was the male lead, but he
Yeah.
actually was not the.
Yeah, I saw Chicken Run when that came out. That was a lot of fun. You know, a movie was a lot of fun when it came out, but it's terrible now. Is Chicken Little.
The Disney one before like Disney started making good like legit animated movies again. That was
What
like the Meet the Robinsons era of Disney.
Yeah, I
Chicken
didn't like
Little.
that either.
No, I agree.
No,
Matt,
I just watched it again. I'm like the messaging in Meet the Robinsons is solid.
Okay.
Oh well, I didn't like that one.
Well, you
Yeah,
got you got to I would say like watching it from the perspective of like a parent,
Okay.
and because now being a parent,
Did you like Kubo?
no, actually I didn't.
Ah.
And I love Leica because I'm like I lived in Portland, like down the road from where Leica's at, and like I love Coraline is just fucking amazing movie. I love what they did with that. I felt Paranorman was kind of iffy. Box Trolls, I love the Box Trolls, and then I
I
saw
like Kubo.
Kubo as a story, excellent. Kubo animation, beautiful beyond belief. I mean, the technical prowess that went into that movie, what they did was just awesome. But you just like the story just kind of in my mind started kind of falling apart towards the end. And it might be because of like I kind of figured out like, oh, that's his dad, that's his mom. Like I figured that out. and everything. And I'm just, part of me is like, I probably need to go back and watch it again. I just watched Missing Link not too long ago because it already came out on Hulu.
Oh, I didn't see that one yet.
It's
I
not
love
bad.
Missing Link.
It's good. I didn't really care for the ending, like how when they finally confronted the bad guys. It felt like Uncharted 2, the video game Uncharted 2. It's very similar in like how it ended.
A lot of it felt like Uncharted to me, which is part of why I liked it.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I am gonna go now.
yeah, I can see your eyes. You're looking like you're either stoned or
Thanks.
real tired.
I'm real tired. I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah,
So,
get to sleep, dude. I know. I gotta. Hopefully, one day, Max. Here's my goal. This is my true goal. I can make enough money on the side to be able to not have to go do deliveries until 10 o'clock at night, and then start this off at like 8 p.m. or something once I get my kids settled. So then it's a lot easier for everybody else. That's
Okay.
the ultimate goal. It'll take a while to get there because no one has money because everyone's broke and unemployed.
Yeah.
Yay! So, all right, man, go the fuck to bed.
Yeah, I
Good
am.
night,
Bye.
good night, Max.
Right.
You gotta like you can nudge him out the door. He's-
Yeah.
Hey, Matt,
he-
I do have a question for you about Onward, and I think this is why it hit so well with me. I don't think before Onward, they never did a movie about like real, actual brotherhood, have they? I don't think they have.
No, I mean, unless you were to say like the relationship between Woody and Buzz in
No,
Toy Story
I mean, like-
2, but
I mean, like two real siblings
Yeah.
who are actually siblings. A movie about real brothers.
no,
And, like,
they
how
haven't.
a brotherly bond. And as for Disney animation, the only one I can think of is like Brother Bear, which they're not even actual real brothers, but kind of like like an older brother, younger brother story.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that one played up to the male audience, and I think that's unique because if you look at Brave was about Merida and her mom having that
Right.
relationship with one another.
Frozen is about sisters, but
Sisters.
we'd never seen before this movie. We'd never seen like a Disney level or Pixar level animated movie about just like brothers before.
No, I don't think so. No,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
don't think so either.
but that's why I liked it. That's why, I mean, for one, the world building in Onward is great in my mind. I fucking love it. The world building is amazing. Because it's like if you've ever played D&D, or if you're ever played fucking Skyrim, then like you can get
There's
into
a
it.
toy I bought from Funko, and the reason I bought it was supposed to be an Emerald City Comic Con exclusive, and the reason I bought it is specifically because of Onward,
Nice.
based on something from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Well, I love the gelatinous cube bit.
I was trying.
that was kind of
I
funny.
was trying to avoid saying that, but
yeah.
Oh my God.
it's the gelatinous cube. I got the toy of the gelatinous cube.
Nice. That's great. That's pretty great. Because I remember like when he mentions the gelatinous cube, I just started laughing, and then like when I'm like, it's gonna show up in the movie, like the gelatin. I'm like, because you know how that always is,
Yeah,
These-
they hint it. You know what's coming.
Yeah,
Chekhov's gun. It's Chekhov's gun.
yeah. So it's gonna pop up at the right time. But the fact that it popped up, and it was like a gelatinous cube, and you're just like, oh, Gary Gygax is gonna be very happy if he's watching this from beyond the
Yeah.
grave, And that's the thing I love about Onward. Onward to me felt like a love letter, to that story and those characters in that world. Kind of like, I mean, I've been watching a lot of the Toy Stories. I've watched them a lot recently, and I've grown to really adore Toy Story 4. And for me, it has a lot to do with the fact that it's about, because every Toy Story movie is about identity. The first one's about, Woody having the identity of the top toy, Buzz coming in and then learning to be a toy. Number 2 is about Woody discovering that he has got a history and that challenges his identity. And then, like the third one is about moving on with your life and your identity post, like the empty nest syndrome, right? Like the parent at that point. Because you figure 15 years in between Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 5, there's going to be parents whose kids have left the house. And then 4 was a great epilogue, just for now trying to find, what do I do for myself? And the themes in these movies are just so beautiful. And they're so well put together that it's like when people just when I criticize Ratatouille, I am mostly referring to the themes, because I feel the themes, much like Frozen, are just jumbled. Kind of like in Frozen when it's all like, oh, Anna has been alone for all these years. She meets this guy right off the bat. She wants to get married to him. Okay, obviously this is a terrible trope. Her sister goes haywire, fucking bails out. She's like, only I can save her. And she's like, you, new dude who I just met, you're now in charge. And like, no one else, just this guy. Okay, that's naive decision making. Okay, fine, we can live with that. But then when we see him again, because we see him one more time before that reveal in the end, when we see him again, he's actually leading. He's like, give these blankets to those people. Let's get food. Let's get these people to shelter, whatever. He's leading and he's protecting. They're establishing him as a good guy, right?
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get to that part and he's just like, no one will ever love you. We had the movie at my theater, at my drive-in. We had a preview night. So this is like Thanksgiving to 2013. I'm watching it with my buddy. As soon as that happens, I look at him and I go like, dude, this movie was written by a chick who was hurt by somebody. And he's like, really? And I'm like, I guarantee you it was written by a woman. and then the credits roll and it's all like written by Jennifer Lee. And I'm like, yep. And then when Lasseter got Me Too'd and they were like, oh, we're he's stepping down and Jennifer Lee was going to be promoted up. I was all like, dude, Disney's going to go down fucking hill fast. Because there's a lot of identity politics in that and in her writing. But she also worked on Wreck-It Ralph.
What's wrong with that though?
I don't have a problem with like putting in themes and ideas that are going to be good. What I have a problem with is bad storytelling. Like in the case of Frozen, that to me is bad storytelling. I mean, I haven't seen Frozen 2 but I've heard the story is better. But I will say though that like as much as I hated Frozen, I really liked the short films.
I don't know if that's bad, but
well, it's just more like I feel like Jennifer Lee as a writer is not like, she's coming at it from a certain perspective. I'm a guy, so I'm not going to get all those perspectives. And obviously a story about sisters isn't really going to appeal to me on that front. But I still feel like some of the storytelling directions just went.
I thought it was neat how in that story they had like these sort of like a star-crossed romance. Like these characters who know each other for one day and suddenly they want to get married. And then they kind of did a bait and switch on that. I thought that was kind of clever to do. I mean,
but there's no hinting to it, right? We as audiences need to have the hint.
I think they hinted to it. The fact that he's like the youngest sibling and all of his other brothers have, they get a piece of the territory and they hinted that he has all these brothers and he's like kind of he's sort of looking for his own territory, basically.
Yeah, well, at that point, he's like also the way that they kind of implied it was that he's the youngest, which means he has the most to prove, which means he's going to be fighting for the approval of other people as well. So he would want to then be in that approving state for her, right? Like that, like. Because I get your argument. I get your point on that one.
I would say to me, it wasn't like an out of left field thing.
Lunga, you saw it, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, well, let me just we'll move on, but let me ask you guys this. You guys agree with me? The whole love trolls, what the fuck? Right? That was dumb. They kidnapped the kid in the beginning of the fucking movie.
But it's a kid's movie.
Yeah, but they fucking Chris.
You mean the Rock Trolls?
Well, they were also called Love Trolls too. I think they were called Love Trolls in the movie. No, if you go back and watch Frozen, I think they're called Love Trolls.
What? What happened to Olaf and not Olaf? Kristoff's parents.
Yeah, we don't know. All we know is he's out there.
Was he raised by the ice miners?
Yes, they kidnapped him because if you go back and you watch the opening of that movie, it's like it starts off and you have all the ice miners and they're doing that like yee ho whatever song, right? And then you got the young Kristoff and Sven and they're like and they get lost and then they come across the trolls and the trolls are they watch the trolls save Elsa or save Anna. And then that one troll rose up behind him and she's like, I like you. I'm going to keep you. And that's it. And then all of a sudden it's fucking 15.
Well, I guess the ice miners didn't care enough about that kid.
Yeah. Where's his parents? Right. Like, no point. And then he just runs off and he's like, I've been living with the rock trolls my entire life or whatever. And they're cool people and they're my parents. And, never mind the fact they kidnapped me and they kept me and they Stockholm syndromed me. And the movie is just full of bad relationships. Right, of really problematic relationships, like all the way through. And it's just like the more you break down Frozen from just a beat by beat perspective. And here's the reason why I hate this movie too. We had this movie playing twice a night from November, mid-November, until the first week of March 2014. Twice a night. And this is a drive-in. All right. I had nowhere to run. Yeah. I was like, I finally thought I was done with Let It Go.
Robert,
I go to Subway.
You would get sick of
Nope.
any movie.
Nope,
watching it
that's
that
not
many
true.
times.
I've seen Pirates of the Caribbean
Okay.
over 65 times. We had that movie playing in 2003 from July until mid-September with Finding Nemo as a double feature. Pirates of the Caribbean played twice a night with Finding Nemo as a co-feature for 11 weeks. That's how popular that was with us back in 2003. And I watched that movie.
You
all
want to
the
know
time.
what my problem with Frozen is? We had to wait 6 years for a payoff to that whole chanting song at the beginning. That felt out of place with the rest of the movie.
No, I haven't seen Frozen 2 yet, so I have no fucking idea.
Oh, do you remember the song, that kind of like chanting sort of song that plays over the titles?
Yeah. That's like that
There's
was like
no
the,
other-
like yo ho, like whatever, like the fucking
No, before the Ice Miners, where it sort of sounds like this, almost kind of like an African kind of chanting song.
I thought that was the Ice Miners. I thought that was their song.
No, this was the Ice Miners was like when they're singing about a cold, cold heart kind of thing.
Oh,
This was
Okay.
before that. All right, well,
I'll have to go back and pay
now,
more
secondly,
attention.
the Ice Miners song. The Ice Miners song, I felt didn't really feel like the rest of the movie either, because it didn't really feel like if Elsa became like a darker figure or more of a villain. I feel like that song would have had a better place in the movie, but the way it is now, I don't think it does.
Yeah, because Elsa wasn't the villain, so that's why. I mean, it's like you had the villain just kind of pops up, and then it's like, oh, there he goes. You know.
What about
That was-
Incredibles 2, Matt?
I liked it. I did not like it as much as the first one, but then again, I think in part there was that 15-year gap or 14-year gap in between. The Incredibles, because someone asked me the other day,
I think it's a little all over the place.
it is a little, it's not
disjointed.
it's a bit
It's not
disjointed
bad,
at times.
but it's disjointed.
Well, here's the way that movie works though, is it's a sequel, but it's a direct sequel, meaning like you've got to watch Incredibles 1 and then immediately do Incredibles 2 because it picks up the next day. It's like watching Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace. Sure, they released the movies 2 years apart, but in the movie time, it was only a 20-minute gap, or a 2-hour gap or something. It picks up right at the end. The fact that the Incredibles 2 opens with the Underminer, which was awesome. Because I always love John Ratzenberg popping up in these things, and you see him on that front, and then they go through everything else. I mean,
And he gets away.
and he does get away. Heroes don't
never-
always get the bad guy. I know there wasn't closure. There wasn't
they
closure.
They never get him later.
I know. I know. That's for Incredibles 3 when we're all in our 50s or Lunga would be in his 60s. But
Yes.
when we all get there, that's what's gonna happen. Here's what was it? What was I thinking of? Shit. Oh, okay. Which is better? Real quick, Monsters Inc. or Monsters University?
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc.
See, I'm gonna go with Monsters University.
I like Monsters University.
Love it. I've watched that.
I don't love it, but I like it fine as a movie. But I think that's a movie where I would say the messaging was a little all over the place.
Actually, no, it wasn't. Because that movie outside, this is going to sound so fucking weird. I've watched Monsters University a lot. Get all Pixar films in the last 2 months. My daughter loves them, so I watch them every day. If you look at the messaging of Monsters University, it actually usurps the messaging of the first film. And it really does add to the first film because they're able to build those relationships. Sure, there were some continuity errors between the two, obviously. But Dan Scanlon, who did Onward, also did Monsters Inc. or Monsters University. And what I love about that movie is I feel it captures the essence of what the 1980s college movies were. Like if you were to go ask him, what was your influence for Monsters University? He would tell you Revenge of the Nerds without the rape. He would tell you that because it was the way that they modeled that movie was so based in 1980s college film culture that it was beautiful to watch because it was so subtle. The characteristics of Mike, you know, having to prove himself, always wanting to prove himself, and always being looked down upon because of his, you know, stature, and how that. Remember, because in the first movie, like he was getting, you know, he in the commercial, they block his face. In the magazine, they block his face, but he's like he's content with who he is because he knows what his duty is. He knows what his where his goals are. He's comfortable with himself. So in Monsters University, we get to see him go through that transition. We get to see Sully and him being opposite people, right? Sully being the father of a scarer that's really popular. Everyone loves him. He just gets to, you know,
The son.
the son. Yeah. He, you know, gets to act on that, on family name. And Mike always having to fight for everything he's got. And that makes him a bit bitter, and that makes him angry and sheltered. He doesn't want to trust anybody. He doesn't want to give anybody anything because he's afraid of being let down and being hurt. And he's also got that chip in his ego. And then throughout the course of working together, they realize how good of a team they are. So when we get to Monsters Incorporated, we get to see them at full strength in the beginning. And I love that. Like, watch again, these movies, when you watch them kind of back to back, which is what I've been doing.
I don't know. I kind of don't like how they undid the.
I think I'm the only one here that does not read into children's films that much.
Oh, dude, it's all thematics, man. Yeah, that's what I do.
I didn't like how they kind of set it up as this underdog sports film, and then like, oh, Mike is not scary at all. Which, yeah,
but that works out though, because what it is like the whole point there is adaptation, right? So that was that whole thing with like with Sully, and he goes like, you know, he's talking to Hardcastle or Hardscrabble, and you know, she's like, look, do you think he's scary? And he's like, he doesn't say, but we all know Mike's not a scary guy, but Mike knows everything about scaring. He's a coach. He's a coach.
Yeah,
those who can't teach.
Here's my
right?
problem with that. He, like, at one point in the movie, Mike takes his whole fraternity. He takes him to the scare company. Monsters?
They go back. They go to Monsters Inc.
All right, they go to he's like, you don't need to be. It's like there's a different type of like monster for everything. You don't need to be like the scariest monster.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're also going to be scary. You know, like
I mean, to me, the fraternity's members who did pass the exam and were let back in, they were no more scary than Mike was. So it's a mixed message to me.
We also never got to see that completely because Sully cheated because he was afraid of failure and failing Mike. You know, he was doing it for his friend and doing it for himself.
The impression was that Sully cheated for Mike, not the other ones.
True, but he didn't have to. Like
rigged Mike.
Yeah, he did because he knew how important it was to Mike,
right.
and he knew it was important to him too. It was a selfish play.
But then the other monsters in the fraternity, to me, they were no more like if. So you're saying the other the movie's basically saying the other monsters, oh, you're actually scary. You guys can go back to school and be in the scare program. That doesn't make sense to me. That's mixed messaging.
Well, they also got expelled. So it's like, you know,
they were expelled and then they were let back in by the.
They weren't let back in. They were expelled. They weren't. Yes, they were. Because
they're fraternity members. No, they weren't.
No, they're fraternity members. No, I'm saying Mike and Sully because when
I'm talking about
the fraternity members.
Mates, not Mike and Sully.
Well, Hardscrabble, you can tell did the thing of saying like, look, she was impressed with them, but she also probably wanted to sweep a lot of it under the rug, just kind of let him go back in. You know, there's a lot of, you also got to look at the politics of the situation. Right, with the CDA being on hand and the doors.
Now we're looking at the
stuff.
Politics of Monsters.
There's politics and everything.
Now you're splitting.
I'm not splitting hairs. I'm going deep into Monsters lore, dude. I'm going deep into lore here.
But here's my point. To me, that's a bit of mixed messaging to say like, oh, okay, these monsters who were already sort of the misfit black sheep of the school, we're going to say you're scary enough to be let back into the scare program. But Mike and Sully aren't. I mean, I just don't like that.
Okay. See, this is the thing. You're getting ahead of yourself here, right? So what was the rule, right? What was the rule? What was the deal that Mike made with the dean? We win, we all get in, right? Okay. So they won. To everyone else there, they won. They didn't know that Sully cheated. Only the Professor Knight and Hardscrabble and Mike knew that Sully cheated. And so as a result of that, when he went And when Mike found out, Sully went and told Hardscrabble that he had cheated and he was going to get kicked out and tried to save everybody else in the process.
But the
Mike,
reason
hold on.
Sully, okay,
But hold on. And then Mike, wanting to prove himself and being determined to prove himself, went through the door in the campus and went into that sleepaway camp in order to prove himself. And so when they got out of there, CDA came and arrested them. Everyone saw them get arrested. Everyone saw them, knew what they did, but they didn't know why they did it. So then that's why they got expelled. And then Hardscrabble, to keep up appearances, let everyone back in the scare program. We don't know. These guys weren't in Monsters,
But
Inc., so we don't know if they made it through.
But Sully cheated for Mike because he believed Mike simply wasn't scary, and he didn't cheat for the other fraternity members.
Yeah, he didn't.
Just Mike.
Yeah, just Mike. Yeah.
That doesn't really make sense to me. It
Doesn't it? I mean, you're telling
Not
me really. that the selfish individual at the beginning of the film, who's gone through moments of trying to build up camaraderie and finding his best friend and finding his place, isn't going to have a moment where he might slip back? I mean, don't we see this in movies all the time, where the main character has a moment where they fall back on their old self because they get scared? They get scared, and then they do that. That's what's happening here. I mean,
To me, I felt like the movie was trying to say, like, it doesn't matter if you're like the jock type of scarer. You can still be a scarer. If
anyone
you
can
put
be a
your mind-
scarer is the whole point. But Mike wasn't scary. Mike was better off being the operator. But anyway, I can tell Lunga's getting bored. Let me ask you this: Have you guys watched Castlevania yet on Netflix?
Yes.
Is it good?
I've watched every
Loved
season.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet.
I hate
know
the third season.
I like the third season. I was good with all of it. Castlevania is, just keep in mind, I don't know how much you know, but it's actually very graphic. Violence and sexual. So it's actually very graphic. But that's fine. I mean, that's fine with me.
Are we talking Aeon Flux here or what? Or tentacle rape? Like, 'cause, I mean, that's the difference here.
Well, there is some form of sexual violence in this show. It's not quite the level of tentacle rape. It's dark. It's a dark.
Okay. Yeah, what is
M-rated
it?
show.
I was looking on my Netflix app this morning.
And the
I was-
sexual violence, by the way, the sexual violence wasn't perpetrated on women. It was perpetrated on a guy. It was, yeah.
There's a very brutal baby death. I'll say that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's that too.
That's
I'm sorry.
Like this
I like the third season, and not to spoil it for Matt, but Alucard's arc in it was especially riveting for me. I really
hated
enjoyed.
the third season. Is, I think, terribly paced and just
I
doesn't
don't
go
think so.
anywhere. You talk about the Clone Wars, the characters ending up in the same place. Wow.
No. Alucard's arc actually building to something, and you can
We'll
see
see.
what it's building to.
We'll
He
see.
didn't end up at the same place. Again, I can't spoil it because Matt hasn't seen it. Any of it, apparently. You said, right?
No, I haven't seen any of it. Yeah, I want to. It's one of those things
Right.
where it's like, it's there and you're like, I'll get to it. And then like we're on season 3 and I'm like, I better sit the fuck down.
Season two is like, to me, the emotional conclusion of the show, basically.
No, not for me.
Fair enough. I'm not
For me at
gonna.
all, especially with the way it ended. Because again, spoilers can't give out.
Well, yeah, let me blaze through and we'll do another. It came from Netflix about Castlevania.
Castlevania. It shows its cracks with Warren Ellis. Like, Warren Ellis, I think, can be a talented writer under the right circumstances, but after a while, every character is sort of talking the same way, basically. Warren Ellis likes everyone. Everyone has these sort of like smart alecky kind of like quippy kind of like lines and goofy lines.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
To me, I feel like it comes at the cost of actual substantive character development.
I disagree completely.
Wait, someone having a quippy sense of humor is detrimental to character development?
Once again, what I'm saying is, at like every character, it sounds like the same character. Every character seems to have the same repetitive voice.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, when he's saying the same repetitive voice, he's just saying that their quippiness is similar between all the different characters. That's what he's getting at, because it's a similar humor, with the direction. But again, it doesn't, to me, even if you can give that as a valid criticism with voice acting or maybe the script a little bit with some of their lines, but it does not take away from character development.
Well, I want Matt to watch the show and he can discover it and decide for himself.
Sure, I need to, because this is what I saw this morning when I jumped on the Netflix. This is what was waiting for me on my phone. I just love it's like gory, violent, scary, dark horror anime TV. And my first thought was, as I was like rubbing my eyes, I'm like waking up going, why the fuck haven't I watched this yet? Son of a bitch. That just sounds cool.
It is cool.
I need to watch it. Well, there's also that, and Adi Shankar is the producer on that. And that guy, I like that guy quite a bit. He does a lot with geek stuff. He's producing, they're doing a Devil May Cry series for Netflix right now too.
I can't wait for that. Oh, I mean, I loved it. My son especially loves Devil May Cry.
I've never gotten into the series, so I know people really like Dante. What was it? Was it Devil May Cry 4 or 5? That was like the weird Dante, like the younger Dante.
That's Devil May Cry 3.
3.
Is it 3? Okay, and then 4, which is the one that just came out, was 5, right?
5.
Yeah,
that was a weird trailer. That was like a weird ass trailer because they had like the chick was all like, "Hey there, hun, you want to help me? Oh, you want me to help you kill some demons?" And like she's like smoking a cigarette, big old titties, and it's just like, I can get behind this. Yeah. So I mean, I need to check it out. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. But also, Adi Shankar was a producer on Dread back in 2012. And one of my favorite things that he did too was he produced the Joseph Kahn directed Power Rangers short film. Did you ever see that one?
I remember it.
The adult one with James Vanderbeek and Katie Sackhoff.
The Black Ranger doing.
Dude, wait, I need to hold on.
Really?
That.
Wrong one there.
Wrong. I'm deleting. I'm trying to delete. I was trying to delete it. Wait, are you a fan of Power Rangers at all, Lunga?
I wouldn't call myself a fan. I mean, I know it. I mean, the first season, as campy as it was, I did enjoy, especially when the Green Ranger came in and became the White Ranger. What's his name? Tommy Franks?
Tommy Oliver, played by Jason David Frank.
Jason David Frank. Okay, that makes the character name and the actor's last name. But yeah, I really enjoyed his character. And I enjoyed the whole Green Ranger, then the White Ranger deal. And then after that, I was done with it. I didn't care anymore. I did like the little fan film that they put together.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the one that Lionsgate like went after hardcore.
Yeah.
Right. That was all, and that was in 2014 when that thing came out too. And the reason, or 2015, I think, but the reason why Lionsgate went after it was because they were prepping to reboot the franchise with the 2017 movie. And is
it that old? I'm talking about the one that was like time travel involved, and I think that was like last year or 2018.
No, well, they did the feature film, came out March 2017.
Maybe that's the one.
That was the last one, and I actually thought that was pretty funny. I enjoyed it a lot. I went and saw it for my birthday, and I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I walked out going, yeah, I had fun. That was it was entertaining, but it came out at a bad time because it came out the same month as Logan and Beauty and the Beast, which both decimated box office, especially Beauty and the Beast. And then also Ghost in the Shell came out that month too. So that Scarlett Johansson movie that everyone wanted to go after it was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I never saw the anime, so I don't have any kind of connection to the character. But everyone was like, but she's white. And then you watch it and you're like, but you watch it and you're just like, I get why she's white. They don't come out and tell you, but it's like, who was the person who kind of made her? Oh, a white dude. There we go. That makes sense. It's like he's going to model it after what he likes, after what he's used to. I mean, if they were in China, you could just call it a take on imperialism or colonialism from the fucking Brits. There's a lot you could do with that. But no, I mean, that movie, I like Power Rangers. I know that they're who bought it? Fucking Hasbro.
They bought it from Saban.
Yes, for fucking $500 million. It wasn't just Power Rangers. There's like other properties as well, but it's basically Power Rangers. Like Hasbro. I'm hearing rumors. Like I'm hearing, like underground rumblings, rumors through my contacts, that there's talks of the next Transformers movie being a Power Ranger crossover.
Yeah, I've heard about that too.
I don't want that.
I don't
I'll be
either.
Fair, like unless the Transformers become the Zords, that
No,
could be.
I wouldn't want that at all.
I don't think I want that. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like that'd be kind of cool to see, like one time, like one time. Just imagine like whoever.
Okay. I found the one, by the way, because I was trying to find it. It's called Legend of the White Dragon.
Is that the short film?
Yeah, they have a teaser trailer for it, but it's new.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you. Well, we're on Twitch. I can share.
Yeah. So, hold on, bring it up. We'll play it. We're on Twitch, and I don't make any money off of this over on the other channel on YouTube, so it's all good. When we did that trailer, we did the trailer park from the other night. Man, I got hit with like 9 copyright claims.
Definitely. All right. Here.
Target is heading for the south exit. I'll cut him off. Copy that. We have you surrounded. Go on the run. I got eyes. Don't move. Let me see your hands. That's it. Easy.
This actually looked really cool to me. I'm like, I could be into this.
Cover me.
Yeah. I like the aesthetic.
Keep those hands right there.
Is that Tommy?
Yeah.
Oh, I did hear about this.
Look at that. They got lightsabers and shit, man.
Fuck yeah.
Which side are you on? Why are you running? Why are you hiding? Why won't you join the fight?
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I've lost everything! They've taken everything from me! You're not the only one who's lost something.
There he is.
We've all made sacrifices. What do you want? You're the key.
You heard the legends of the White Dragon?
We believe we finally found something to help us restore balance. The White Dragon Crystal. Your energy, your blood is the key. Then why'd you attack me?
Because we had to make sure you weren't a clone.
Oh, this isn't the Adi
You wasted
Shankar
your
one.
No, this is not. This is something
Have
different.
nothing left
Yeah.
to fight for. She's alive! Your daughter. She's alive.
Is Amy Jo Johnson in this?
What's your
I
wife
think
would've
she's
wanted?
supposed to be involved. There's another video where they talk about it. I can play that next too.
All right.
He has her at his citadel. If you're lying to me.
Actually, there's a new one. They just put up a video last week that says we're back, so I haven't even seen that one.
Well, yeah. Shoot up.
Reason to fight. Take it.
This looks more exciting than any Power Rangers I ever seen. So, like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm down with this.
White Dragon!
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I like that. I gotta say, I like that.
This is the kid that made it, I guess. Yeah. All right.
What?
All right, kid.
As a kid, he's like, I just took my dad's iPhone and like I just knew these guys from like the park. They
Yeah,
worked
he-
for candy. It was great.
He pretty much redid it. Okay, here's one that says Legend of White Dragon cast revealed. And then there's one that says we're back. This is one day ago, so we'll do this one first.
Yeah. Well, what's the account? Like, I can't tell which account is like the more official one.
I think if you ever did another movie, I think it would probably have to be like a straight to streaming thing. or something.
I honestly, after this situation right now that we're in, I think we're gonna get a lot of announcements about straight to streaming. If you want my honest opinion.
Well, for Power Rangers especially, I don't think it would do as well. I mean, just based on the last movie, I don't think you could really launch a theatrical film. But I think if you did it straight to streaming or VOD, I think that's probably the best place.
Yeah. Well, that's
don't
where
don't spend $100 million on it. Spend like 40 or 50 million.
Yeah.
I remember at the time this came out, this got a ton of buzz.
The effects look a lot better.
Yeah.
The Legend of the White Dragon.
Okay, so this isn't the...
What's up, everybody? It is JDF here. I'm happy and honored to announce Legend of the White Dragon is back on Kickstarter. Every time I go to a convention, everyone's raising their hand and asking for the Legend of the White Dragon. Fans around the world are talking about it. I, myself, want to jump back in spandex while I can and bring you an epic series or a film, depending on our goals and stretch goals. So either we can make this a mini series or a feature film.
Only 500K
without you guys, and we're very excited about
that's
it.
fucking low, dude. For those effects, that's low.
Legend of the White Dragon. If you guys click the link, you guys will be surprised about the rewards that we have. We have t-shirts, 8x10 pictures, posters, even helmets. On-set visit,
I have a feeling they're putting in
premiere.
some of their money.
They
probably have some backers
I
as
want to
well.
make sure this happens. I know the fans want to do it. Me and Bat and the Sun are ready to put our heart and passion. But let me tell you one thing. The cast is amazing. So all we ask is for your support with the Kickstarter. Either you could share it, you can donate, but the world right now, I think, needs something. We need something that's consistent. Everyone is on social media. Everyone is watching Netflix. So we're stuck at home. So this is something that we planned a long time ago, and all of a sudden this hit, so we kind of pushed it. But fans everywhere are asking me, hey, bring it back, bring it back. So I'm happy and honored to be Team Legend of the White Dragon. Click the link and support the film because it is gonna blow you away. Thank you everyone for your participation and dedication. We're gonna make this Legend of the White Dragon a reality.
Hey, is this a new Kickstarter or is this older?
It's new, yeah. Well, he mentioned everyone's all stuck at home, so
oh
yeah, this is.
I didn't hear about this at all.
Yeah, and this is.
Oh, sorry.
Another Legend of the White Dragon update. Now, last time I talked about how the Kickstarter was back up and it reached their goal, and things are still going well for the Kickstarter. They've raised over 200K, which is a good thing, and they're nearly at the second part of the Kickstarter where they want 2,050. They want 250K for this Kickstarter, so things are going well for it. It's going well. They're reaching the goal, and it looks like they're doing better than last time because last time they wanted 500K. And now they wanted 1,000K, and now they're doing good. They're doing good this time. Now, on their Instagram and social media, they are announcing several guests for this Kickstarter event. So a few actors are returning for this thing, and some brand new familiar faces. And on this video, we're going to jump to their Instagram and have a look at who they're announcing for this thing. Because there are some big faces, some familiar faces. Maybe you know them, maybe you don't know them. And we'll go over it. So first up, we're going to talk about, because I'm mostly going to be talking about the ones who they're announcing to be joining this thing, and that is King Batch. Now, King Batch, I believe when I looked him up, he is the guy from Pranksters and Workaholics, people are saying. It could be him. I don't know. I could be wrong. But he is in the movie The Babysitter, from what I know. Next up is Jason Faunt, the lovable Jason Faunt from Power Rangers Time Force, known as Wes and Alex. He's back on board with it, which is really cool. I would love to have Jason Font come on the channel and just talk Resident Evil and Power Rangers and stuff like that.
Now I'm
He is
looking
the
up on
mocap
Kickstarter,
guy
and there's still the
for
old
Leon
one from
Kennedy
last
in
year.
Resident Evil. So
I don't see the new
if
one though.
Jason Ford
Oh,
wants to
okay.
come on the channel and talk Power Rangers and Resident Evil. And
I have the
other
new
stuff
one
with
up right now.
Hey man, you're welcome.
Oh,
to
okay. It was.
But yeah,
Is it?
Jason Ford
Was
in
it
the
under?
armor, which
'Cause
is
I searched
The
Red
White
Dragon.
Dragon. It says the
Batman
White
Arkham
Dragon. The
Kent,
legend
but
has
I
returned.
like Jason
47
Ford.
days to
Welcome
go.
the cast.
Okay,
We're
well,
gonna
go
be
ahead and
doing
pause this because people are
Warrior Patrol,
complaining
I
about the
believe.
guy's voice.
Next up is a.
You gotta get
Here's
to the
here's
to
my
the Aussies.
question: How can Hasbro allow this? Like, if I feel like after they got to a certain point, Hasbro would put the kibosh on this.
Well, do you see anywhere in there where it says Power Ranger?
Right. They're changing it enough that anyone who's a fan knows without mentioning anything from the Power Rangers. Like he's the White Dragon.
Is that really enough? Is that really enough to get away with it, though?
Well, yeah, because what they showed us didn't look anything like his suits from like the original show. So
I mean, I'm looking at the artwork now, and to me, this like looks like a ripoff of Lord Draken.
send me, post the link, share the link, or send me the link privately, and I'll put it up.
Sure.
Go to private chat, send me the link, I'll put it up.
Sure.
Because well, it's kind of like that old Lionsgate going after the one from 2014. That didn't look, I forget why they worked it out. They worked it out, and as long as these guys aren't looking to make any money off of this, I mean, look at like Axanar, from Star Trek. Like the Alec Peters raised $1 million to do this, and as a result of that, it completely killed the Star Trek fan film world. Like they can't do a feature film anymore. They can only do 2 15-minute short films, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
and I gotta be honest with you, if there was a problem, I have a feeling they would have kiboshed the Kickstarter before it even.
Yeah, hold on, Jeffrey. Whatever you sent me, it's not the. It's like the link is. It's just not working. It says 403 forbidden.
You're sending the Kickstarter.
Whatever, yeah, whatever. He's DMing me something on. There we go.
I mean, to me, that artwork, it looks just like Lord Draken. It looks like Lord Draken to me.
Hold on here.
Okay, are you getting this from the Kickstarter?
Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now. This is what. Well, I don't know, when is this one? This one is from. This project will be only funded if it reaches this goal by Wednesday, May 27, 2020.
Yeah.
So this is.
This is the latest one, right?
Okay, so they've got 1,500 back. I feel like they should have more than 1,500 backers, but 1,500 backers at $140,000.
Apparently, they met their goal. They apparently
have met their goal.
I don't know if that's
The
enough.
last one, when it had 2,500 backers.
Maybe you could do a web series for that budget, like some web shorts.
Well, they have goals in there, stretch goals.
Right.
Yeah. What are their tiers? Oh yeah.
I'm just saying that artwork looks really like treading the line to me. But whatever. I'm not a lawyer.
They're doing a Funko. They're doing a Funko.
Yeah.
Reward. What's the reward 6? How much does that cost you?
Is that even a real Funko?
It's a signed pop collectible figure, which means it's going to be coming from China, which means cough, 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 cough. You've got COVID. That's. But it looks cool. But look, it looks cool. Like I would want one of these things. I wouldn't pay $250 for it.
I don't know how Hasbro can let them get away with this.
Well, okay.
Intellectual property is a funny thing. If you change enough, I'm telling you that they really there's not much they can do. You know what I mean? If they went in front of a judge and said, "Okay, well, this is a ripoff of Power Rangers." Why? Because he was in it, and it's obviously that. And it's like, okay, but why? What part of it is Power Rangers? Other than the fact
that's up for the lawyers and courts to decide. But Hasbro may not care.
No,
no. I mean, it's.
I'm just saying. I look at this and to me, like that's like I'm looking at this right now, and that to me, that's Lord Draken, is what I'm looking at.
I'm just. It might just
know
be
what?
also be.
No, what? No. Do you know what Lord Draken is?
Yeah.
What's Lord Draken, Lunga?
He was part of the freaking Power Ranger shit.
All right then.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
I mean, you think I have like complete memory of every single thing? No, but
yeah.
To me, this
then what the fuck you doing here, Lunga?
Look, I'm just saying. I'm looking at this design. This design to me looks like a ripoff of Lord Draken.
Hold on. I found something on DeviantArt.
It was when it was like a evil Power Ranger.
There.
That's where Draken was.
So this look at the screen. This is something I found on DeviantArt. So this is this what you're talking about, Jeffrey? This image here. Hello.
Oh yeah. That's
Okay.
Lord Draken. Yes. That's
Okay.
the-
Okay. So
that's
that's
the official Lord Draken.
that's okay. That's the official. Okay, that's the official one, right? So what we're looking at here is not that.
No,
It's not, but it's not, but
that.
But
It's not
for
even-
to violate copyright law, it doesn't have to be exactly.
Do you know how many superheroes there are that wear red and blue with a cape and have a diamond or some kind of insignia on their chest?
Well, there's no fin on the
And-
top. There's no fin on the top. So, and there's no red. There's no red on the lens, right? It's enough to where they're going to be able to argue. Look, the thing is, do you really think these guys didn't also go and consult with a lawyer before doing this?
I mean,
Like-
Matt. Look what happened with Austin Powers.
You're gonna have to refresh my memory.
Do you remember? Do you remember Goldmember? Goldmember got sued by MGM for New Line Cinema. Got sued by MGM over Goldmember.
And did they win?
No, they settled it out of court.
No, that's not technically a win.
No.
So I mean,
And
but
no,
what was their specific beef with Goldmember outside of the fact that it was
copyright infringement?
Yeah,
But-
because Goldmember made how much money?
how much?
Power Series was
Now I'm
pretty
looking that up. Yeah.
successful.
Except Austin Powers. Except Austin Powers is a parody film, and it parodies James Bond.
Well, and that's the thing I don't even understand because parodies are supposed to be. fine
They're
on
supposed to be protected, but MGM was complaining because those films make so much money, they're infringing on our copyright.
That's what I'm saying because they made the money.
Well,
Right.
it only
the parody, but you know that the copyright law doesn't say if it makes such and such money, it can't be parodying anymore. So, but they settled it. It didn't go to trial. It was settled out of court, and they got Die Another Day shown in front of the movie. That was part of the settlement. So
Why would they put Die Another Day in front of the movie?
the trailer for Die Another Day played in front of the theatrical release of Goldmember.
And to be fair, I have a feeling I can probably tell you they probably talked to Hasbro. They probably talked to him. It's like this.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I mean, look. The thing is, like, these fan films are a tricky situation. Look at the
Axanar got sued too.
Axanar did get sued. They got sued for a number of reasons, but they ultimately walked away victorious. And I mean, granted, I mean there was severe. I'm friends with Alec Peters. Like, we talk pretty frequently, and like, you know, there's stuff I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
I've talked to other fan films who are really pissed at the Axanar people because, like, yeah, they ruined it for us.
No, that's absolutely true. And the thing is, I don't think he'll even sit there and say, like, I don't know if he would deny. He is definitely an egotistical dude, and he may or may not. But I do think CBS they cracked down on that. They were dicks. They didn't have to go draconian.
With Street Fighter, it started as a fan film. The Assassin's Fist. It started as a fan film. They basically got the okay from Capcom, and then they made like an official web series that basically started as sort of like a little one-off fan film, and they made a whole it turned into an official web series. So I'm not saying that's not impossible. But I don't know. I feel like Hasbro would not like this.
Probably. Well, I mean, they just dropped $500 million for the franchise. Of course, they wouldn't like it. Real quick though, back to the Austin Powers and Goldmember. What they took offense at was not anything in the movie. It was the name Goldmember. That's what it was. It wasn't I'm reading up here on Wikipedia. They got upset at that. They resolved the dispute quickly, allowed them to keep the title unchanged, and then they put on the trailers for Die Another Day and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers on top of it.
Right.
Which, I mean,
but I mean, how is that even copyright infringement? It's not.
That one I don't know. I mean, like, it was,
it's not even the same title as Goldfinger.
Well, no, it's Goldfinger, Goldmember. I mean, would there be any person out there that could conceivably mix it up? It was MGM just being a bit of a bitch, because here's the way it works when it comes to.
I think they raised a similar stink about The Spy Who Shagged Me. The Spy Who Loved Me.
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me if they.
But to me, that's ridiculous, and that's not copyright infringement. It's not defamation. It's playful. It's fun. To start a lawsuit over that is ridiculous. It's moronic.
Well, it's Hollywood.
Money
And this
is
is
money.
not.
That's what they
And this
do.
is different. And this is different. This is way different with this fan film thing.
Well,
I mean,
this is,
you
yeah, this-
understand. I did a whole video on the whole Captain Marvel thing, and when I say Captain Marvel, I'm talking about the OG Captain Marvel from Fawcett Comics, the one Shazam. And the 50s, DC did this 8-year lawsuit with Fawcett Comics that Captain Marvel was a ripoff of Superman. And it went back and forth a couple times, and one judge says yes, it was infringement, and they appealed it. Another judge says no, it's not. And but if but some of the stories could be, but the character isn't. And DC literally did this just because Captain Marvel, and people don't realize this, during the 40s, everyone thinks that Superman is Superman, right? In the 40s, Captain Marvel with Fawcett Publications was the highest selling comic book throughout the entire decade, superhero comic book. And I mean, they had something like 13 million.
In the
copies
40s and
a
50s,
year.
superhero comics were like big money, right, Longa?
40s, yeah. In the 50s, then the McCarthyism started and almost killed comic books.
Right, the seduction of the innocent.
You're right. And but yeah, Captain Marvel was making so much money outselling Superman. Captain Marvel was the first superhero on screen at the theaters. It was 1941 they made a Captain Marvel movie. The first Superman one didn't come out until 48. But
What
they
about the
did
Batman serials? What about the Batman serial films? Oh, those were 1943.
Yeah,
43.
yeah. Captain Marvel was the first superhero on the silver screen in 41. But yeah, so it was just all because of money, and they wanted. I mean, it's not like DC at the time called National Comics wasn't making bank from Superman. They were, but they said
It's corporate. It's corporate petty.
Right, and they did it just to kill Fawcett, and Fawcett finally just settled and paid the money.
Now,
at $400,000.
Granted, there was some. What Bob Kane and Bill Finger did to the Shadow is undeniably copyright infringement. Like there's evidence, and there's documented evidence of this. You can Google it. What they did is direct theft of the Shadow, and there's no denying it. Undeniable.
Probably. I mean, back then it was kind of a wild, wild west with IP. You know what I mean?
I understand that,
and it was
but
considered
doesn't
kid
excuse
stuff.
it either.
It was stuff made to sell bubble gum and candy. You know, I mean, so.
And look,
they
I
never
love
imagined-
Batman. I love Batman, and I respect what the work Bob Kane and Bill Finger did, and the marketing.
Bill Finger finally got credit because
Bill
Bob Kane
Finger
fucking locked
Bill
him
Finger, Bill Finger more than anything.
Yeah.
Bob Kane was clearly a glory hound, but they did take a lot from the Shadow, a lot, and more than just sort of like a dark kind of.
They
like
took a lot from the Mask of
Sure.
Zorro. That's what Batman's inspiration was, the Mask of Zorro. So I mean, Shakespeare. There's nothing new under the sun.
No, there's actual text. There's text and artwork they lifted, like more than just. I'm talking more than just concepts, Lunga. There's actual, like, artwork they lifted from pulps and text they lifted from the scripts of the Shadow, and took and appropriated as their own. And there's documented evidence of this.
But again, like I said, this was publication and comic industry in those days, man. That's what they all did to each other. It was.
But then guys
I'm pretty sure I remember
Kane denied it.
hearing newspapers. I mean, newspaper reporters
Bob
would
Kane
plagiarize
denied
each
it.
other.
And Bob Kane always was in denial of.
Well,
the
he was in
work
denial of
Bill
everything.
Finger. Yeah.
He denied that Bill Finger didn't have anything, and Bill Finger created. I mean, literally, he not just Batman, but the Joker and most of the major villains. They were all his brainchild. And
Isn't this now? I don't know that. Isn't that the problem Stan Lee had with some of his artists? That he
a lot of
kind
people
like-
said that Stan Lee stole a lot of stuff from them, took credit for a lot of stuff
Right.
that
But
they did.
it seems in later years Stan Lee was more.
Yeah, he probably
It
felt
was
guilty.
more referential of his.
Well, he
his
made
collaborators.
his money. He had
Right.
his fun, and it's like he was probably wanting. I mean, I think by the end too, he became a bit of quite a bit of a philanthropist.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely something that that would kind of change anyone's mind, like the older you get in that regard. But yeah, I mean,
he
there's
was a different kind of guy.
But
I mean, if you think about it,
I
really
specifically remember.
all Bob Kane had was Batman. I mean,
But I
that's literally it.
Specifically remember at the Spider-Man premiere that was televised, the first movie in 2002, like he was talking about it, and like the people interviewing him thought he basically drew the character, but like he was like, no, Steve Ditko drew Spider-Man, and I loved how it looked and everything, and he at least specifically had the humility to credit Steve Ditko when he was getting interviewed at the official premiere. So that I thought like that, okay, good on you, Stan Lee, for doing that. Even though you're the celebrity and you're getting all the glory, at least he took the time to pay reference to Steve Ditko, and I thought that was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
because there's no Spider-Man without Steve Ditko.
And I want to comment. Jesmar says Deadpool was a copy of Deathstroke, and that is true. But not only is it true, Rob Liefeld pretty much flat out said this is literally a parody of fucking Deathstroke. That's Slade. I mean, Deathstroke's name is Slade Wilson, and Deadpool, it's the same fucking
Wilson.
guy. Yeah, Wade Wilson. So I mean, it was purposely done.
Now you can make an argument that the early iteration of Deadpool could arguably be copyright infringement. Also, the original versions of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which were quote unquote parodies of Daredevil, Frank Miller's versions of Daredevil, with the hand.
The
stick is Splinter. The foot. Yeah. There you go. Right. They were heavily inspired by.
But that, I mean, again, as a writer, you do that. You know what I mean? We're always inspired by things when you're creating. Sure. You know what I mean? You just don't want it to be a complete ripoff. Now, they were making a kid's
clever. You have to be clever about it.
Right. And for me, the Turtles, Easton and Laird, they were clever with it. You know what I mean? So that was fine. The Rob Liefeld with Deadpool, that was literally just like a poke in the eye. That was a purpose. It was, you know what I mean?
To me, with the Austin Powers, there should never have been any legal action there, because those were fun, playful, like spy parodies. They were not spy movies. There should not have been litigation.
You know how many parodies there are of James Bond? I mean, that shit's parodied all the fucking time.
Right. I mean,
it's like,
yeah.
I mean,
here's something fascinating. Did you guys know that we just hit the 5-year mark since the first season of Daredevil came out?
Has it been? They've been talking about how by the time this big all delays of this coronavirus, that by the time Spider-Man comes out, the embargo that Netflix has on Daredevil will be over.
That's true. That would be October of this year. Yeah, because it was October 2018 is when the last season came out.
Yep.
And 3 weeks after the last season came out, it's when they ended it. So, but it's from the release.
That must be why people are saying Daredevil is going to show up in the MCU.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Oh, dude, if they don't bring back Charlie Cox, fans will fucking riot.
You know what? I want him back more than anything.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Feige is such a control freak. I don't think he'll do it.
Well, okay. Now you're not wrong on that front. Like he definitely wants to have control, and Charlie Cox was a Jeff Loeb hire,
right?
And that's going to be an issue. But at the same time, it's like I will state it right here, right now, for like 10 people that are fucking here. I will start a goddamn letter writing campaign, and I mean that. Like,
what about
if Feige doesn't realize if he puts D'Onofrio's good. He was great as Kingpin too. If I don't know if Feige realizes if he put his ego aside for a moment, and if fucking not just Daredevil, okay, but if Charlie Cox shows up as Matt Murdock to defend Spider-Man as a lawyer, that fucking theater will fucking explode.
Cool, kind of like because they kept hinting at that in the whole series too.
Yeah.
Because every time someone kept telling like Jessica Jones or Luke Cage or Iron Fist, you need a lawyer, right? And it's like every time that was one of those moments where I'd look at my girlfriend, I'd just go, but they fucking no, don't you fucking tease me,
right?
And then finally in the trailer for the Defenders, and then like Jessica Jones is arrested, he opens the door. Don't say another word. I'm Matt Murdock. I'm your lawyer. It's like yes. Fuck
Too
yeah.
bad Defenders was such a letdown. Though.
I liked it. I don't
was
care.
good,
It was.
but
It had. Yes, it had its letdown moments, but at the end of the day, the 7 episodes or 8 episodes, I forget. I think it was 7.
It was 8 episodes.
It was 8 episodes. Either way, at the end of the day, I enjoyed the hell out of it, good and bad.
Listen, what dragged it down is what dragged down everything was Iron Fist. Okay, that's what dragged. It
I
down.
liked
It's just-
him though. I liked
did.
him. I did. I
No.
To me,
liked
it wasn't
Finn
Iron
Jones.
Fist. It was they wouldn't let him wear costumes.
Well, but they did it with all of them. If you really think
The
about
hands,
it. Daredevil.
the hands plot was stupid.
I
Like
mean,
their
think
whole
about
plot
this.
was we want to go back to Kunlun was their whole plot.
Yeah, I don't think that's stupid.
That's
I
not
But
think-
they
stupid
went
at
to
all.
but they went to Kunlun and killed everybody
okay
at the end of. So like why?
because that's
Well-
their ancient enemy.
Did they kill everyone, or did they just kill the people guarding it?
They never clarified.
No,
any
I
of
think
this.
what honestly what happened, Jeffrey, they didn't kill everyone. I think they left. They just left Kunlun. They abandoned it.
That
because-
doesn't. I don't understand.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, like
Right.
either
That makes
way,
no
it's like
again. This is the problem with the show.
I'd have to rewatch it again. I didn't have that same problem you did. It
yeah.
made sense to
I
me.
I bought a 4K TV specifically for the Defenders on Netflix. I mean,
I'm
I
just
can't.
saying the stories were there. Like the 7 Gates of Heaven, there were much like they could have really torn like the roof off of like what these shows were capable of, but they kind of they rested on their laurels. I feel like, and they didn't step their game up. They kind of just they cheaped out.
I think that I have a feeling that they were planning on doing more than just one,
I don't know.
and
Yeah.
I think I really do feel
Mm.
like that was going to be the case. I know they had originally said it was like the contract was for like the 5 seasons and then Defenders. But like the way I view it is like this.
What was supposed to happen next, if they kept going and Iron Fist wasn't so fucking bad, was they're supposed to do Heroes for Hire.
Yeah.
What they
Well,
were gonna have.
there was a rumors that Heroes for Hire once like they canceled Iron Fist. And then like the thing is like Luke Cage season 1, the first half was really good. The second half was terrible. Like when they got rid of when Cotton
It's the same
outside.
thing with Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Jessica Jones, and I hate saying this, but it's like it started out really good, okay? But it just like her character never fucking developed, man. It was just the same fucking depressing shit over and over with her. It just never ended. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like that's what fucking drove me nuts. You know what I mean? I like the whole noir aspect of it. I like the way they set it up. I like the character, the acting. I like her I forgot his name, but her assistant who was a heroin addict who became her assistant and then
Rachel
left
Taylor.
and- no, the guy.
Oh, Malcolm.
Oh yeah.
Is it
I like Malcolm.
Yeah, great character. You know what I mean? I
Then
even
he started
like,
fucking Trish, and I'm all like, what?
yeah, I know.
Malcolm Dukas.
Yes, he was a great character. I really enjoyed his character. The Trish thing, I was even okay with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had no real problem with that. I thought
Yeah.
they had good chemistry together.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
It's
like,
just-
why
I
couldn't
just
Iron
upset her.
Fist get a costume?
Well, here's the thing. If you think about it, and this annoyed me even about Daredevil, which I think was great. He didn't have the costume the entire first season. He got it at the last 2 minutes of the last episode, right?
yeah.
Then he finally has it throughout the second season.
And then he loses it again in the third
Then
season.
Then he's blind dude with a fucking bandana on his face for the whole fucking third season. And it's like, dude.
Oh man, no, I will say,
He had more of an Iron Fist costume than Iron Fist ever did.
he did. Yeah, that's true. He did. I will say this: I love Daredevil season 3. I fucking love.
Oh, no, it was good. It
I
was
was
good.
so
I just
is
wish they would have had more costume.
Danny
I
is a
know.
billionaire. Danny is a billionaire for a giant publicly traded company. If he wants to play vigilante, doesn't it make sense for him, of all people, to be a little more inconspicuous?
Yeah, but you saw how they played that up with him. It's like he had nothing to do for a while with the company, and then he just,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, what I loved
Correct me
about
if I'm wrong, but didn't they still most of the world still thought he was dead?
a lot of people thought he was dead.
Until around episode 3.
Yeah. What I will say this though, I really did enjoy how Finn Jones played the character as being kind of like the naive idiot. You know,
He's too fucking whiny, dude.
He was in the first season, yeah, but season 2 got a lot better, And I loved him popping up for that one episode in Luke Cage season 2, because like when they go take out that drug den that Bushwhacker had was
That was a
fucking great.
good episode.
It was a good episode because then they're
That was
teaming up
basically-
together.
Well, it was
That was- that was
basically
Hero
Heroes
Hands.
for Hire. It was
Yeah.
a Heroes for Hire episode.
That's what fans wanted. That's what fans wanted was that.
The scene when they were traveling and the thing with the fucking guns, was that at the end of Defenders or end of Iron Fist? That was the end of Iron Fist, right?
I don't.
You know
I
what I'm
don't
talking
remember.
about?
I don't remember.
The Punisher was a letdown too.
No,
No,
it wasn't.
I love
no,
the
it wasn't.
Punisher.
But
No,
wait,
that was
both
great.
both seasons or just the first one? Because I love the second season.
Yeah.
Because
Both
people
seasons.
got mad. People got so fucking mad at Punisher in season 3 or season 2. They were just, I mean, it's basically Punisher season 3. Let's be fair. Daredevil season 2 was like half
Yeah.
Daredevil, half Punisher, but it was the best of all the seasons. Number 2 was the best of all the shows. That was the best season. But I liked him in season 2 because it was like him trying to like, him trying to come back. Right. And like, him being the protector and then all that crazy shit. Like I liked the dude who was the bad guy going after him because he played a bad guy in a few of the things I liked. And then I just liked the fact that it was like small hick town, total assault on precinct 13 situation going on. And then then all of a sudden now we're back in New York and fucking shit up. Like I loved it. I love season 2.
I pretty much loved everything they put. Iron Fist was the only letdown for me, and the sad part is it felt like Finn was finally growing into playing this character.
Yeah. Well, you know what fucked up?
End.
But you know what
You know
fucked
what
it
I
up though,
mean?
right? You know what? This is true. This is what fucked up Iron Fist. Scott Buck. We don't talk about that enough, in my opinion. We
Not
don't-
just Scott Buck, but Jeff Loeb.
No, Jeff Loeb for choosing Scott Buck not only once but twice. Because guess what? What did Scott Buck leave Iron Fist to go and do?
Inhumans.
Yeah.
Which was even
I
fucking
couldn't
worse.
finish it. I couldn't finish it. I tried.
Oh,
I got like 5
God.
episodes in. I was like, this is
I
terrible.
stomached it all the way through, but I'm like, why am I watching this?
No, well, I'll tell you this though. I'll tell you this: the fact that IMAX put up $70 million to shoot the first 2 episodes in IMAX, and then run it on their screens for 2 weeks. I forget which movie got bumped. There was a movie that was a big movie that was coming out in it might have been It. I think it was It Chapter 1 that got bumped for IMAX because they wanted to run. Disney pressured IMAX into get this deal, and they put Inhumans for 2 fucking weeks. And I bring this up a lot too when I say like, why isn't like Game of Thrones season premiere, season finale? Why isn't that shit aired in theaters? Why isn't that shit aired in IMAX? You know what I mean? Like that would bring a lot of people, I think, to the theater. Not Inhumans though. Not fucking Inhumans.
I think
But
the idea
thing
idea
is,
was a good idea.
Guardians of the
It was a-
Galaxy shouldn't have brought that many people to the theaters. I mean,
But it
to be
did.
fair, but it did.
Matt,
'cause
I
it's
think
done
the
good.
idea was a good idea. It was just horribly executed.
Yeah, Scott.
I
Buck.
like the idea of theaters. Okay, let's do it like a TV pilot.
Yeah.
Shoot it in IMAX and put it in IMAX screens. I think that's an interest. Like, I wish more studios would try and experiment that way. They just did it with a total ass product, like a
And to be
POS.
fair, it's like,
Or-
I liked Anson Mount as Black Bolt. I mean, even though he didn't speak, obviously.
I had just recently watched Hell on Wheels before that came out, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, Anson Mount is the shit. Right. And then like he doesn't talk, and I'm all like, I don't care. He's got that steely gaze.
Yeah, but he did look the part, and he did exude it well. You know what I mean? But just the whole everything about it was just bad.
The writing, the acting, the
Yeah.
sets.
Yeah.
Like I have
Look
seen
at Serinda Swan's fucking hair. Oh my god, that was miserable.
Yeah.
Because
And that's the thing too.
Like,
that's
how
the
do-
whole.
how
Sorry,
do we
go ahead.
do Medusa's hair? Let's just cut it off. In the
Yeah,
Let's cut it all
well,
off.
How do
Okay.
we save budgets?
All right,
Let's
so
let's simulate a rape, and Maximus like basically rapes her by taking off her hair. There we go.
Right.
And
I
then
think it's like they did the first couple episodes with the hair, and they're looking at it in the editing room, and they're like, "This looks really bad. Can we manage to do this the whole season? No. So what should we do? Let's just cut her hair off. That'll save us the trouble."
It made sense also just from a storytelling perspective of like trying to get her to blend in. Of like she doesn't have anything she can use. She's powerless, right?
But I'm watching a superhero show with people having no fucking powers.
Yeah, I know. It's
Lockjaw was the only good thing in that whole fucking show.
Lockjaw was great. I mean, like, I still find it really funny though how Feige because okay, we talk about Feige and his ego. We also have to address when it comes to the TV side of things that Jeff Loeb, it's not all Jeff Loeb's fault. It really is Ike Perlmutter. And Perlmutter, and if you go back to, I mean,
he had a grudge. Him and Feige had a grudge match going on.
They had a huge grudge match because Feige wanted more money, and is just like, no, you can't spend any money.
Perlmutter's historically very frugal.
Yeah,
like pathologically frugal.
Oh yeah, no. There's the stories of him when they went to, oh God, what was it? When they went to one of the press junkets, and like he was like they ran out of food, and he's like, let's just go steal it from another studio. Like that's an actual story. Like he would actually go in disguise.
I don't know if this is true. I've heard he likes to reuse like thrown out office supplies.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that kind of dude. So this is the Phase 3 announcement from the El Capitan Theater in 2014. Right. This was the when they got everyone together, they announced Phase 3. Look at this one here, November 6, 2018, in Humans.
Yep.
What could have been?
What could have been? And what was funny at the time, we had just come off of Captain America Civil War at the time. So, I mean, this is like way, way down the road, right? But did anyone here watch the first couple seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Now, here's the thing.
Yes.
The first couple seasons were actually pretty good. I enjoyed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Then it just, I don't know where the hell it was.
I tapped out, not of my own choice, but I moved and I just got distracted and I kind of forgot that it was on. And then like I keep needing to go back and rewatch it. You know how it is once you put something off long enough, you just kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
But like the fact, I mean, season 2 was good of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That arc that tied into Winter Soldier was with Bill Paxton was great.
Right.
I love that. And
that
then
was season 1.
That was season one. Yeah. But then season 2 really, really amped up a lot of the a lot of the emotion, a lot of the character moments were really good in season 2. And then season 3, like, started doing some weird shit. And I think that's where the disconnect was. Because if you go and you watch season 2 and it was all about Hydra, one of the Hydra generals actually makes an appearance in Age of Ultron at the castle in the beginning of the movie that they're assaulting. Yeah. So like he shows up, and so like there was corroboration between Joss Whedon and Jed Whedon and Marissa Tanchowen, who run Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's his sister-in-law and his brother.
Yeah, well, they had the oh my God, what's her name? Thor's sister, not sister.
Oh, Lady Sif. Lady Sif popped up in a couple episodes in seasons 1. Yeah,
right.
Jamie Alexander.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was a direct link, to MCU too, and I mean they couldn't go as far as mentioning exactly things, but they would say the New York incident.
Well, they did that a lot with Daredevil. They did that a lot with the incident, the big green guy, and it wasn't until later, I think like the second season of Jessica Jones, when like they finally mentioned Captain America. The kid's like, oh, do you know Captain America?
It's all connected, was a load of bull. It
was
a pack of lies sold to us by Jeff Loeb.
It was here's the thing with that. But yes and no. And I think you have to start reading between the lines a little bit, which is why I brought up that Phase 3 slate. When you look at Inhumans, Feige had set Inhumans for November 6, 2018. That was supposed to be Marvel's answer to X-Men. This was 3.5 years before the announcement that Disney was going to be acquiring 20th Century Fox's entertainment assets. 3.5 years. So this wasn't even on the discussion table yet. Feige wanted mutants. He couldn't use mutants. He couldn't use X-Men. So he could do Inhumans. That would be the takeaway. So they started building it up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because at the time there was that corroboration between Marvel Studios and Marvel TV. So then what happened? Feige started wanting more. He started wanting a lot more, and he deserved it, in my opinion. And Perlmutter, remember going back to the whole fight over Iron Man 3, Captain America Civil War in 2014, at the end of 2014, there was all the talks about, is Robert Downey Jr. going to be in the movie? He's going to get $40 million to be in the movie. Oh no, that was all fake news. The back and forth. That was when Feige went to Iger and said, I'm going to, I'm going to quit. And Iger went above it, went to Perlmutter and said, he answers to me now.
Yeah.
and then took all that away. So what did Perlmutter do? He took the Inhumans and he fucking tanked it.
He took his ball
and he went home. Yeah, well, and then I think he also took a knife, stabbed it, fucked the stab hole, and then just left it out in the sun to rot.
Pretty much.
Like he raped that show to death. That show was designed to be terrible, and that was Perlmutter fucking with Feige, in my opinion. That was all it was. So if you look at it from just like a vengeful business perspective, and the way that you can sit there and say that it was all a pack of lies. It feels that way, but it was not intended to be that way. Internal company politics fucked it up.
And yet Loeb was basically dismissed once they expanded.
Well, he's the
role. He's the fall guy. There's always going to be a fall guy. And I like Jeff Loeb too. I do. I really like Jeff Loeb. I think, I don't think he gets enough credit for the Marvel stuff.
I give him credit. I give him credit for some of it, but if you give him credit, you have to
how much of his
credit him for the failures.
Yeah.
How much of his hands were tied though by Perlmutter?
A lot.
You got to take that in consideration.
Well,
so is it really his fault?
I think so. I think he could have pushed these shows to be better.
No, he couldn't. He would have been fired.
He was okay. But think of it like this: you have to look at it.
To me,
from
there's
also,
no excuse for not letting Iron Fist have his costume at some point.
I think they were also building up to it too, because Luke Cage never was in his costume outside of a flashback,
right?
And even that wasn't intentional, and that was funny.
When he broke out, and he saw it, he's like, no,
and he took it off. Like that was
how much, like Matt, that makes no sense. Like,
but
how
also,
much do you build it up?
Well, hold on. In season
how
2,
long do you have to build something like that up?
It doesn't. Well, they kind of made fun of it in season 2 of Iron Fist, with when he's fighting the Silver Serpent, and they're doing the training.
You mean Davos?
He would have had the costume.
Yeah, whatever they got. He kind of when they were in Kunlun,
Steel Serpent, who they never refer to him as that anyway.
Whatever, but that's his character name. Okay, like whatever. And I think that dude, like that guy he was a pretty intense actor, I have to say. I think he did a pretty good job. But like when they showed them fighting in Kunlun, he was wearing like the bandana.
They wore the Iron Fist masks, yeah.
Yeah, so they wore it then.
That was the only time. That's the only time we saw them in the show.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that season 3 would have shown him wearing the goddamn mask. And I'm pretty sure
why? Okay, but why can't they just? To me, that's not good writing.
I think you're missing the point here of it being an adaptation. And in regards to adaptations, certain things are not being certain things don't work thematically.
Okay, so like we got a 3rd season of Daredevil. They finally bring in the Bullseye character.
Yeah.
And he never actually becomes Bullseye. So basically they spent a whole season building him up to become Bullseye, and yet he never actually becomes Bullseye.
And the showrunner said that in season 4 he would have become full on Bullseye.
Why? But you see, that's what I don't like.
I can tell you from a writing perspective, I know what they were going for.
Yeah.
It sucks.
You can do it like 6 episodes. You can give us more Bullseye.
Jeffrey, hold on. That's from a fan's perspective, and I agree with you. Okay, I agree with you from a fan's perspective, but thematically, I know what they were going for. The whole point of all the Netflix characters is they're the ground level heroes. They're the everyman. Okay, they're not Captain America. They're not Iron Man. They're not all the flashy MCU movie characters. They're the heroes that everyone knows worldwide from saving the world. Okay, they're just saving their neighborhoods. They're the regular guys. They're like the beat cops, of the police, of the superhero police force. So they were trying to make them as pedestrian.
They were too grounded.
I agree with you, but that's thematically what they were going.
I have no problem with that though.
Comic fan, I do. You want to see the costumes, man. That's the whole.
I'm not against seeing the costumes. I'm not against, but it's like in regards to like Daredevil's costume functionally works for what he's trying to do. Jessica Jones,
the 3rd fucking season.
True. But what I loved about that though was that Bullseye got, that was the whole point though, is Bullseye took on the moniker and was also going to trash his name.
They gave Bullseye Nuke's role from.
Yeah, well, they killed Nuke, thank God, in season 2 of fucking Jessica Jones and threw his body in the ocean. So they got rid of him, which was great.
They wasted Nuke too.
He wasn't that good of a character, so there's that.
Yeah, but again,
that's the writer and producer's fault.
But these are also adaptations.
Okay,
these are adaptations.
All right, so Matt, that means I can criticize and take issue with how the characters were adapted.
Oh, I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just gonna keep reminding you it's an adaptation.
times in Batman movies do they kill the fucking villains, dude? I mean, think about this. They do this in superhero shit all the fucking time.
Christopher Nolan didn't.
Well, Christopher Nolan is a special series. That
Didn't Bane die?
Wait, Bane died.
Talia al Ghul died.
The Joker didn't.
Terribly.
The Joker didn't.
Well, yeah, but neither did Scarecrow. He popped up again in the second and third movie, which was great. I love those cameos. But it's like, fine. I'm fine with him not killing the bad guys. In fact, I wanted more.
Even Christopher Nolan gave his villains and heroes costumes.
Did he? Because I mean, like Talia al Ghul sucked,
and they killed Raish in the first one.
I didn't see a body.
Well, again, Raish is different because he has the Lazarus Pit and he comes back anyway.
Yeah.
No Lazarus Pit in the movies, so.
No Lazarus Pit in the movies, right. But they did kill Raish, so.
Look, my point is, I'm fine if you want to do grounded takes on the characters, but like I don't want it at the cost of the iconography.
Yeah, and
to me, Matt Fraction did one of the best stories of Iron Fist. It was there. So if you wanted a story that mixed sort of the grounded street level aspects along with having like mystical secret cities, Matt Fraction laid the groundwork for it. It was there and they owned it and they didn't touch it at all. And to me, that's unforgivable. And that was one of the best Iron Fist stories ever.
TR the animator, yes, that's also true, dude. They did do the similar joke with Hellcat, like they did with Luke Cage when she was trying on costumes. They had her comic book costume. She's like, "Oh no, I'm not wearing this."
Oh, I mean, that's the thing too. Even look at like WandaVision. There's a shot of her in Halloween costume, dressed up as the Scarlet Witch. Right. You know, and that's being played up as a joke.
It is played up a joke because Feige actually talked to Elizabeth Olsen and said, "We're not when they were making the movies." When she was first cast as Scarlet Witch, he's like, "We're not putting you in that. We're going to put."
They gave her a costume, but it was a modernized.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, they should have given her that other costume because she's fine as hell.
Yeah, she is.
But
the other costume is basically lingerie. Let's be fair.
Well, I mean, she's worn less. Okay,
I know.
Like,
I know.
She had sex with Thanos in that one movie. So
Vision,
old boy.
Vision looks like he's snatched out right out of the comics. So
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying it can't be done.
That's Feige in the MCU, man. I mean, yeah,
like that's different. Yeah,
right. And I still take exception to what Jeff Loeb did.
Well, okay, but here's again, Loeb. Okay, we have to look at it like this. If you're talking about budgetary concerns, we're dealing with two different beasts here. So while ABC Television, in conjunction with Marvel Television, produced the series, the different shows, who predominantly put up the funding? Netflix, which is why Netflix has the rights for distribution for Daredevil and all those other shows. So that's why it had a fundamentally larger budget. When it was on ABC under Perlmutter was like, no, you don't get no money. You know,
you could have given Iron Fist a costume. You could have given Bullseye.
Considering his costume really isn't much. It's a yellow shirt and a fucking.
Yeah, they could have done it. They didn't do it. Hopefully they'll bring it back. You know, they're going to bring it back again. They're going to bring it back again.
Iron Fist just had a modified.
Yeah, and I agree with Lunga. If Feige ever brings those characters back, he's going to want to put his own spin on them, just like with Spider-Man. I love Charlie Cox. I would want Charlie Cox back. I would want Vincent D'Onofrio back. But I feel like if Feige has his way, it's not going to be them. He's going to want a clean slate, and I kind of understand that.
I think
He had nothing to do with those shows, Matt. So he
didn't, but he also understands
the architect.
But he also understands fans' expectations, and he also understands fans' resilience.
Some fans wanted Andrew Garfield to stay on, you know.
But that was also that was a Sony call. That was a difference. He you know,
you think Kevin Feige really would have kept if he had his way, he would have kept Andrew Garfield.
No, they wanted to. By the time they worked the deal for a reboot because they had to, contractually speaking.
Right.
If you look at if you look at how they've altered Spider-Man enough, younger Aunt May, Black Mary Jane, or mixed. I don't know what she is, but you know, I mean, I like Zendaya in the role. Actually, I didn't like her.
She's not Mary Jane. She's Michelle.
She's Michelle, but she's MJ, so that's the variation of it. You know, Ned Leeds is an Asian kid, not like a nerdy bookworm type. That's a white kid from wasn't he? You know, Ned Leeds was somebody else from the comics too. He was, Ned
Leeds was Hobgoblin.
Yeah, so they've done a lot. They've changed it, and it's fine that they changed it. They've done enough to make it unique to their own world, and that's great. I really enjoyed Garfield as Spider-Man. I liked Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and I would have loved for them to have done Sinister Six, and I think it would have been a lot of fun to watch. I get it from a business perspective why they did it, but it also Sony.
Peter Parker.
I'm sorry, what?
I hated Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker.
I think he did. I liked him.
Too cool to be Peter Parker. He was just too cool, too smooth. That's not Peter Parker.
Well, I liked it when he was quipping as Spider-Man. He was great.
As Spider-Man, that's why I said that's why I distinguished.
Okay.
I didn't like as Peter Parker.
Sure. But do you like Tobey
And
Maguire as
Tobey
Peter
Maguire
Parker?
was a better Peter Parker than he was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And I think Tom Holland does them both just fine.
Right.
So the emotional vulnerability he offers as a character while still being clumsy is just excellent acting on behalf of Tom Holland. Also playing off of Robert Downey Jr. in the way that he did. Really, I'd love it when people are like, oh, it's just Iron Boy Jr. I'm like, that was the emotional anchor. God damn it. Yeah. That like we as audience members need that emotional anchor.
And by the way, that also was done at some point.
But the reason I think people are clickbaiting about Charlie Cox returning as Daredevil is probably because of that rights issue with Netflix.
Well, so there's that. Actually, who was it? I was just looking. According to comicbook.com, they ran an article today, actually, saying here that I'm looking. Hold on, I'm just skimming through it to get to the. Okay, so.
You got to specify because comicbook.com does a ton of clickbait.
Oh, I'm trying to find the piece of information that would be relevant. It's a lot of, let's fill it with fluff because we got to fill 500 words.
Marvel Studios can use Daredevil in the MCU sooner than you think. That was yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's mostly speculation, obviously, but it's grounded in this fact that the rights issue now because of COVID.
CBS owns comicbook.com now.
Oh,
I
really?
did not know that.
Wow.
No wonder.
Yeah, no shit, right? This doesn't say anything.
Daredevil was canceled by Netflix in 2018.
Oh my God! All that whole article is based around it's
speculative. It's
not even speculative. It's just this is clickbait. Let me go listen to this. Daredevil was canceled by Netflix in November of 2018, which seems like yesterday, really. Once you put together that it really has been that long since it was canceled, you also realize that it's 2020 already, which means in November of this year, the 2-year stipulation of Netflix and Marvel's contract is up. That's it. That's the whole fucking article in a nutshell.
Is that a 2-year?
Well, we don't know for certain. Well, all we got out of that was that the actress who played Marcy had said it in an interview that there was a 2-year cool down period, and everyone ran on it. We haven't gotten any official confirmation.
So there was no actual news here. It's just they basically just wrote something to write something. And probably get 1,000 words out of it. This is my problem with comicbook.com. They just pull stuff out of their rear.
Pretty much.
To just, it's not an actual, there's no story. There's no story here.
What I hate about that is like when I cover stuff like this and I'm like, a lot of people just grab the people send me the headline or they'll read the headline, they send me the article and then I'll do a video and I like to kind of react to the article live. Like I'm reading it for the first time with the audience. That way I think there's more connectivity. So if I don't proofread the article and I read something like that, I have to scrap the entire video because there's nothing there. It's just fake fucking news. It's misleading news. How about that?
It's like all these websites writing a how-to article. Let's make Harley Quinn's egg sandwich. Here's how you make the perfect egg sandwich.
Oh my God.
Just a drop of hot sauce.
Yeah.
They show you exactly how to do it in the movie.
That fucking sandwich got more character development than literally Huntress. That sandwich
Scream rant. Let's do an article about this sandwich. Comicbook.com. Let's do an article about the sandwich.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Have you been on the stream when I've looked up how much they make per month? How many clicks they get per month? Screen Rant.
How much?
40 million.
Jesus.
40 million a month. They put out over 100 articles a day.
I mean, you gotta create content somehow.
No,
You gotta
yeah, no, I respect the hustle, man. I do. It's like I want to rebuild my website, but I'm like, I don't have time for that shit.
That's why I like film. That's why I like film clickbait, because they call out all these.
Yeah, I follow film clickbait all the time. I laugh my ass off at it.
I'm gonna pop a link here in the private chat for you guys. I wrote an article for Nerd Report about James Gunn and Rocket Raccoon and what's could be possibly coming up. Read that and let me know if it sounds like clickbait.
Okay, you want me to read it on air?
No, you don't. You can or.
I think the fact that you say teases is more honest, Lunga.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me just kind of peruse this here. Let's see here. Okay, James Gunn teases at Rocket's origin playing major future role, and you're pulling from.
He says
it on Twitter, which is a
he
direct
actually
source from the
said, yeah.
director.
Right.
You do 2 more paragraphs after the fact, summarizing a few things here. You bring in the Adam Warlock bit from End of Guardians 2. Okay, great. You mentioned Guardians 3 not having a release date. Production is on hold due to the COVID pandemic. Yeah, all right, it's fine.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean,
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing about that. That is fine. Now, here's the thing though. Between that and like making, I could not make a video off of that. In my mind, I know people will. You know, they'll make like there's like like
It's
was
a
it fucking
tweet, you know?
emergency
It's a tweet.
awesome will turn a one tweet into a 10-minute video.
He's gone really downhill.
He's gone. Well, I mean, like I watch a lot of his content,
I like Charlie. I used to watch a lot of his videos,
but
you know?
it's so clickbait now.
Now, yeah, the last year, I wanna say.
Everything's been clickbait. It's like, oh, the Avengers 5 teaser trailer.
Literally every title is teaser trailer, and there's no fucking trailer.
Yeah, but the thing is though, he clickbaits on the title and the thumbnail. I mean, but I give his thumbnails credit. I like them. But if you listen to a lot of what he says, like he doesn't really clickbait in the videos.
No.
He clickbait in the title 100%. But like his videos, they don't. There's a lot of speculation, but he does pull from actual things that have been going on. The problem right now though, and this is where I kind of find myself just at odds, is like everything we're getting, it just feels like a fucking scoop, according to this insider. And I'm friends with Mikey Sutton.
Yeah.
We talk every fucking day. I like Mikey quite a bit. We talk all the damn time, and he feeds me information all the time. I don't run all of it because I'm just like, okay. But it's like, I don't know. I kind of feel like, I don't know if this is going to be real, and I don't want to keep pushing a lot of speculatory shit.
When are you gonna start feeding?
Do you think Mikey Sutton gets legit information?
There have been a couple things that I've seen, like that he has put out on his private Facebook that have been corroborated. Like he did guess, I think it was the season 7 renewal of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 2 weeks before it came out. He ran a scoop about Agents of S.W.O.R.D., a Disney Plus show. And that was back in August. That was my first encounter with him because one of my viewers had sent me that information. And I looked into Mikey before I did the video. I did as much as I could due diligence wise. And I looked into it. And he had talked a few things I had found that he had been kind of close on. And I said, okay, I'll run it. And then lo and behold, WandaVision set photos show Monica Rambeau or whatever the not Monica Rambeau, but the new Rambeau, whatever her name is. What's her name?
I think
The new one is Monica. The mother is Maria.
Oh, okay. Thank you. It was okay. Thank you. So yeah, Monica Rambeau leaving a S.W.O.R.D. Facility and having the logo right there, right? And this is after he talked about S.W.O.R.D. And then you also, look at the ending of Spider-Man Far From Home, and they're on a S.W.O.R.D. base. So now you could look at Mikey and you could
we
sit
don't
there,
know it's a S.W.O.R.D. base.
That's a S.W.O.R.D. base. It's a S.W.O.R.D. base. It's a S.W.O.R.D. It's a S.W.O.R.D. base.
Okay.
Come on. You're telling me that the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., realizing that there's extraterrestrial threat out there, is not going to have something in play?
What if it's a S.H.I.E.L.D. base?
It's not a S.H.I.E.L.D. base. It's going to be a S.W.O.R.D. base. S.H.I.E.L.D. was like this.
Earthbound.
It was Earthbound. Yeah.
And they
One
even
goes
did
right.
They even did it on Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. too.
That's true. That they there was references to that. So it's like this is what he's building. Obviously, working with the Kree, which I found to be kind of funny because they were always like the bad guys.
Yeah, the Skrulls.
The Skrulls. Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting tired. That's why. So yeah, I mean, like they've clearly set that up. So Mikey, he gets his info. Like it is what it is. Like this is the hardest part though when you talk about these things, is because you look at people like, let's say, was it like Cosmic Wonder, right? I think it's another YouTube channel. There's because there's Emergency Awesome, and then there's Everything Always. Have you seen that guy?
That one's horrible.
He just takes whatever and he just runs with it. And there's
the Mike Zero of comics.
Yeah, where's Mike Zero been? God, he has slowed the fuck down. No one's giving this dude any play anymore.
He's a scumbag and a fraud.
Yeah, well, there's that. 100% there's that. But see, Jeffrey, that's the whole point of like, I have to like, unlike I give Mike Zero credit for like and I do view it as art. He creates art.
Right.
Because he's so full of shit. He's really good at weaving a tale. Yeah. But I don't report on what he says because I know it's bullshit. When
he's still making videos.
Oh, I'm sure he is. That's his job. But look at like you got like Jeremy Conrad, who this is why Jeremy Conrad and Daniel RPK, two other scoopsters, they don't like Mikey Sutton. They talk a lot of shit about him publicly on Twitter, and the reason why was because they were saying the Spider-Man Marvel deal is done, it's dead, it ain't coming back. Right back in August, they kept saying that it's not going to be fixed. This is what's going to happen, and they were like blocking people. Jeremy Conrad, at least, was blocking people on Twitter who were saying like, "Nah, I think they're going to work a deal," and he was getting all pissy at everybody, calling him out on his bullshit. And then Mikey was out there going like, "Look, man, my sources say this shit's going to be worked on by the end of August. They're going to have it done," and lo and behold, by the end of August, they had the fucking deal done.
Did he block you over what was it? The Black Widow streaming thing?
No.
You were calling him. You were calling him.
Oh, I called him and Grace Randolph out 100%. No, he actually the other day he blocked me and then unblocked me. So I was following him and then I realized I wasn't following him anymore. And because what that does if you block and unblock.
Why did he block you?
He unblocked me. So that just it forcibly makes me unfollow him.
So weird.
I was calling him out pretty hardcore.
But then why would he unblock? Why do you think he unblocked?
Because I could make a stink about blocking him, I guess. I don't know. I might poke fun at it, but that'd be about it. But it's like Daniel RPK, he was following me for a while.
That's kind of pathological though, don't you think?
Yeah, those guys are all pathological. Here's the thing, they hide all that shit behind a Patreon. Like, no, really. Like Mikey Sutton.
That's why I don't like the scoopers when they
Mikey Sutton does not put it behind a paywall.
Okay.
So like in anything, give him credit there. Because and he'll listen to this too. He listens to all these episodes. So hi, Mikey. He's a fan. My
friend Carmelo, that owns the comic shop that's been.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna go that hard for Black Widow is going straight to streaming VOD. At least own up to it.
Yeah, own up that you got it wrong. If I get things wrong, I say it.
I predicted Sonic was gonna bomb. I was wrong about that. It did well, and I thought even after they fixed it, I still thought it was going to bomb.
No, I'm happy that movie.
I called it wrong.
Yeah, I know that's very. I've gotten things wrong before too. I said Rise of Skywalker, $2 billion movie.
Yeah,
and I was doubling down on that too.
I said 1.4. Right,
and then everyone's like, "No, you're like." People were referencing it like not by name. They weren't referencing me by name, but they're going like, "Oh, these other YouTubers are saying $2 billion," and I'm in the chat going, "That's me, that's me." And then like I got it wrong, and I said, "All right, I'm just gonna hit 2 billion. Let me amend it down to like 1.5." I'm like, let it just beat The Last Jedi. Let it just beat The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And then I was wrong on that one too, and I'm like, I was totally wrong. I called it wrong. There's nothing wrong with saying that you're wrong. We all we do is speculate. We talk shit and we speculate. That's all it is.
Right.
Now
I know the ones that get caught up are the ones that say my sources say, and then they don't admit that they got it wrong. That's where they get caught up because they don't.
Oh, that's fucking. We got this covered.
Right. They don't want to admit that because then that's admitting your sources are not reliable. Now, if it's just speculation, dude, we're not fucking fortune tellers. If we get it wrong, you get it wrong. It's still speculation. There's nothing wrong with that. I guess wrong. Don't go to the casino next time. That's all that means, But yeah, so the ones that the sources that say that my sources say, this is what's going to happen. And actually that was my issue with Grace because that's what Grace did with that. She's like, well, my sources are telling me this is what's going to happen. But she hitched a wagon to that saying, but they're this is what they're thinking about doing with other things and it's still not decided. So then when it comes out that it's not, she can say, but I was right that they were looking at it. It's just this one isn't. There's other things are going to VOD. You know what I'm saying? So she
It's
gave
not-
herself an
but I
out.
mean, to
She
say
gave herself an
they're
out.
thinking about, to say a company is thinking about and considering different options, that's not exactly a huge
News.
leap to me. Yeah,
Right.
that's not really like to say, oh, they're considering.
Right.
Like,
You
of
didn't
course,
need-
of
I
course, they're
didn't need
considering.
sources to know that. I
Exactly.
knew that they were considering it, especially with all this stuff going on. We've all speculated that, like, we could start seeing more of these things coming to VOD. You know what I mean? We were all speculating that because it's fucking common sense business wise right now. But common sense business wise is not to take one of your main fucking Marvel MCU movies and take it right to VOD.
Right.
That's not common sense. That's why I said it was bullshit, you know. But she hitched a wagon to that. They're considering options, so when other things come out, they can say, "See, I was right about that." They are considering options. They're just not doing it with Black Widow.
Yeah.
Well, then minute you
Just
were fucking wrong
covering-
with Black Widow.
Well,
'cause
I
you
will
were-
covering your rear, so like
Right,
you can say
right.
you were right either way.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's where I like Charles Murphy is another one. And he has what I don't like are people who hide behind paywalls. Like when I called out Jeremy Conrad for the Black Widow thing, what I hated about that, and I mean, if I ever see him like at Comic-Con or any kind of event, I'm gonna fucking bring this up too. I'm gonna go, how the fuck can you sit there and charge people money, or you know, act like you have the inside scoop when you don't? But to go on the Black Widow thing, he goes, Black Widow going to VOD. My source is Grace Randolph. That's what he said. My source is Grace Randolph. He brought up a Grace Randolph tweet in order to back his claim. Then he said, for those of you who are members of the MCU Cosmic Patreon, you've already been aware of this information last week when I broke more of it down.
Or you could have seen Grace's tweet.
Yeah. And then it's just, then he goes, like, he's like, but you know, so he was using it as a pitch to sell this. And I was like, you fucking scummy piece of shit. Like, you know, you just give if it's a week old, then give the information. Like, you know, you catch more flies with honey than it is you're trying to bait them in. It's scummy shit to me.
They know that the YouTube game.
He's not on YouTube though.
Not on YouTube at all.
No, he runs MCU Cosmic, and I think like Star Wars Unity or something.com. He runs and now DC Mythic or something.
That's where his money comes from. That's his main source of income. So that's
But Mike Zero has to have made a reasonable amount of money from his YouTube channel, right? Like enough to retire off of, right?
Who?
I think Mike Zero.
Well, it all depends. I mean, he puts out a lot of content. He gets a fair amount of views. The content isn't always over 10 minutes. That actually is a problem. And I don't know what his watch time is. So I can't.
If I had to guess, I mean, you can get an idea by Social Blade pretty much if you look it up.
No, it's not accurate. It doesn't even. I mean, at my height, when I was pulling in like 70 grand a year from this shit, it was way off. You know, I mean, the most gauge in the center.
Was it off? Was it overestimating or underestimating you?
It was such a broad thing, right? It was like, he's making anywhere between like $20 a day and $300 a day.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, I'm like, dude, maybe I'm pulling in, you know, like 100 on a slow day. And then it's like 170, like on a good day or something like that. I forget was it post-election day or no, election day. Yeah. The post-election day, 2016, I made $500 that day.
Do you guys ever watch JXE? This is one of my favorite channels.
I know the name. I'm not too familiar.
JXE is a
ones that the people were like copyright claiming and trying to shut them down.
I don't know if that happened, but I like his channel because he calls out clickbaiters and he like and also like just bad hot takes in general. So that's kind of why I like.
Oh, has he called me out? Because I have a lot of bad hot takes.
Not that I recall, but like he did this like he did this like breakdown of like some stupid video about Rick and Morty about like why Rick and Morty is like a good grandparent or something, basically, and basically examining point by point like why Rick is a horrible person and is not a good. Like why the original take is basically advocating murder and why it's not so bad.
I mean, if you watch Rick and Morty, you know he's a horrible person.
That's not even
like to me. That's the point. Like that's the point. But like people like people are trying so hard to ride the Rick and Morty train, and that they will write just dumb crap about it. And I like channels that kind of just expose that nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, there's
But
a lot of it out there.
Also how channels like Emergency Awesome like do like misleading thumbnails and all that. Or like we'll do like a Marvel spoiler video or Easter egg video that will like slightly Photoshop the headline a little bit to make it look like the Hulk is Red Hulk or something, even though it was taken from it.
Jeffrey tried jumping all over my shit because I had a title for a video that said MCU Phase 4 canceled, and I had a question mark at the end. And he's like,
"It was misleading. It was misleading."
Watch the fucking video.
I did watch it, and you make good points, but like, are you going to tell me the thumbnail wasn't purposefully misleading?
Of course it wasn't, Jeffrey. There's still there's still parts of the YouTube game that you have to do to draw people in. You kind of have to.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm actually working with someone who does like marketing. He hit me up the other day, and he's just
you have to clickbait people with the thumbnail.
It's hard. It's so like I don't like it. Like if you look at my thumbnails, I try not to. I've been accused of it before. Like I forget what it was. I was doing something the other day, and I said something, and someone's like, I got a bunch of messages that were just like, "It's clickbait," and like you could tell they hadn't even watched the video.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, watch the video. Like if anyone who watches me long enough knows that I'm pretty anal about covering certain things, and I will retell you everything you need to know multiple times. I swear I'm autistic. I swear to God.
And if you read the description of the video, it says delayed in the description. So I mean, it's not like, you know, like for example, if I made the title,
that doesn't mean the thumbnail isn't clickbait.
Like there's a difference between that, what I said, and let's say like if you want to do something like how Emergency Awesome has been lately, or Mike Zero kind of thing. If I said reports say MCU Phase 4 possibly canceled, that is complete fucking utter nonsense clickbait. Okay, because it's not just misleading; it's almost insinuating a complete fucking lie because it's not. You know what I'm saying? It just says canceled ? You know what I mean?
Look, I mean, I understand Jeffrey's frustration.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same way. Like I read, because I have an RSS feed that I pump in like a couple hundred different outlets, you know, and I thumb through headlines is what I look for. And I look for headlines to get my attention, you know, and then I go and I read the article to make sure like the headline matches the article. Sometimes that doesn't happen. And yeah, there's a lot like fucking Screen Rant. I had to unfollow Screen Rant because it was just so much nonsense, you know, and it's like the same with, you know, We Got This Covered is so much nonsense. It's so full of crap. So, you know, you have to gauge and weight and everything a little differently. The bigger problem ultimately is just that what we are all up against on this one, the three of us and anyone listening to this who does this kind of shit, we're up against an algorithm. An algorithm that is like, it's like a raging forest fire that needs to be fed. And so we're always up against the wall and trying to make it work. And a lot of people out there, you know what, they take shortcuts, and because they feel that that's how they have to do it, or they feel like they go for really low hanging fruit, which would be everyone in the whole Fandom Menace.
But that's my problem is with YouTube. It's with Google that I feel like they reward the low quality nonsense.
But here's the thing. This is the way I look at it, and why. And again, mind you, that was like the only real title I've done that with. But this is the way I look at it. There's lots of people that click that, and they might click it on things like Geeks and Gamers or other places. But if they click it on mine, they're going to get an actual honest video. You see what I'm saying? So they're not going to get the misleading stuff.
Here's my problem. Like Midnight's Edge, which I was a huge fan of when they did those awesome videos dissecting the whole Fantastic Four thing, and that's why I was a fan of Midnight's Edge.
I missed that Midnight's Edge. They are,
and then
no way what they used to be.
Okay, so then like they went hard on the whole anti-Captain Marvel trend. And you know what? Don't like Captain Marvel, that's fine. But like you had like 5 videos a week basically trashing Captain Marvel on Midnight. And I'm like, this is not like the Midnight's Edge that I was such a big fan of back in the day. And I feel like
Well,
They got
can I-
away from what brought him to the dance.
Well, can I tell you? I talked to Andre about that once because we're
You
friends.
I think you told me the story.
Yeah,
It makes money.
He just
That's-
makes money.
that's what-
That's it.
Yeah,
But I'm
That's
like,
it.
but the whole hot take.
and that's why
was like,
that's why
Brie
all
Larson-
of them jumped on it. That's why
But
EVS was
Brie
all over Brie
Larson-
Larson. Jeremy was all over Brie Larson. That's why. 'Cause
Okay,
it was,
but-
they made their fucking mortgage payments for the year off those videos.
he made like he was so fixated on Brie Larson's statements and also the tracking numbers, like the tracking numbers having this wide range for the box office. And I'm like, okay, like what is that? They're box office predictions, they're estimates. They're not, in box office tracking, it's hit and miss. Sometimes it's off, and sometimes it's not correct. Sometimes it's accurate. Sometimes it goes above the projections. Sometimes it's below. And he's like, basically his take was that the tracking was like getting manipulated to prove that this like basically Marvel's got a bomb here. Marvel's got a bomb in their hands with Captain Marvel, and the movie did not bomb.
No,
it was a huge success. I mean, it didn't do great with critics. It did fairly decently with critics. And I'm like, okay, so what was the point? What was the point, like, of you
money, clicks?
But but with Fantastic Four, there was a point. Like, with Fantastic Four, they uncovered like the truth of that story.
And those are harder to make. Those are harder to make. It's
but my
more
point
time
was-
and more work.
I don't like that. I don't like with Fantastic Four.
I'm not disagreeing. with you.
Fantastic Four was like an expose, and like but
And those are
if
hard.
you're gonna, what is your to me, that's not a good excuse for doing such trash for Captain Marvel. I can't approve of that.
Again,
If
I'm
you're
not, saying I'm not
it.
saying you have to approve of it, but here's the thing: people have at any job try to take as many shortcuts as they can to make the same amount of money. I mean, that's
Okay.
just human nature. Okay.
Okay, well, I can't like that. I can't like Midnight's Edge if they're just
No one-
if they're just
Jeffrey,
gonna
one's asking you
lowbrow.
No one's asking you to like it.
Okay.
I agree
Okay, but
with
I'm
you.
saying that used to be like Midnight's Edge when they first started. Like I thought they put genuinely good content out. Now,
because they broke on the scene like what was it 4 years ago with Ghostbusters, and that was the thing is like I was covering Ghostbusters nearly daily because new things kept happening, and then you had the Reddit information, and that's what they broke down, and they had some good videos with it, and then they did the
and then
Fantastic
people
Four.
bullied AVGN just because he was like, I don't want to see this movie.
Yeah, I remember that. That was fucked up. I didn't like.
And
that
he
at
didn't
all.
even have like he wasn't even saying anything derogatory about the movie.
But this
He wasn't
is the crux.
nothing sexist or anti-feminist either.
Yeah, but this is the crux of the issue, okay? And like when we take, for example, someone like Jeremy, okay, in his mind, he's just trying to make a living, and he's a fellow YouTuber, and he's like, I'm not going to get in the way of you making your money. Don't get in the way of me making my money. But he thinks it's okay to like, well, we're just shitting on big companies that have billions of dollars and actors who are rich. Who cares? You know what I mean? If we want to shit on them, let us shit on them. Why do you care? Okay, well. You are shitting on Access Media. You are shitting on people who are just trying to do their job. Okay. You now are trying to do your job, and you are alternative media. And if you feel you have the right to say whatever you want, right or wrong, on these people, and not only say that, but influence your fan base to not even see these movies and hurt box office, okay, and hurt people who work in the industry, I have every right to call you the fuck out on it. And if that makes you mad, maybe be more fucking honest. Or how about this? Counter me with some actual real fucking shit. How
I've
about
had a
that?
great time tonight, guys. You have I hope everyone here has a safe weekend.
Yeah, I gotta go too.
Please enjoy.
Yeah, it's after midnight. Let's
Come
see.
out of this thing
Jesse-
okay.
Yeah, I know. I got a fucking Clone Wars new
I'm
episode.
still mad at you, Matt.
Why? What did I do to you?
You know what you did.
You never answered the question, Jeffrey. You never answered the question.
You know what you did.
I know what I did, but you never
Bye-bye.
answered the question. He's mad. He's mad.
You know what you did. Bye.
No, I like Jeffrey. I asked him a hard question. But no, Jess here says most of these YouTubers are shit. There's no honor, just clicks. Well, I look, man. I know a lot of people.
I wouldn't say most.
I say most. I would say people, they follow what they feel is the easiest path, the path of least resistance.
Right.
And that's something that is going to bite them in the ass one day, especially right now when guess what? There's no news to cover. You know, we've spent the last. I do have a couple stories up here. Like CBS is bringing back Sunday night movies. By the way, you hear about that?
No.
Yeah. So bringing back Sunday night. I don't care
watch,
either.
I don't watch CBS.
Well,
I literally, being a person who remembers when the three major stations were like pretty much the most important thing. Okay, because we didn't have. I didn't fucking get cable until I moved out of my parents' fucking house. Okay, so I never had cable.
Oh,
I was
sorry.
Like 18. Okay, so I remember when ABC, NBC, CBS, and out here WGN and stuff. That's where you got everything from. CBS always sucked. There was nothing on CBS I watched ever. It just was horrible.
I just remember watching those like the Sunday night ABC stuff as a kid. So like those movies went. I misread this post. Most of these YouTubers shit on Matt. I thought you were saying they were shit. There's no honor, just clicks. Oh yeah, I know. There's people like to shit on me for a multitude of reasons. Some of it's warranted.
Yeah.
A lot of
some
it probably
it's earned,
isn't.
some of it's not.
Yeah, but you can't be on this platform for 8 fucking years and not make some enemies.
Well,
yeah,
it happens.
It happens to everybody.
I
I
haven't been on here 6 months and I have enemies. So
yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. No, I mean, when you start getting the death threats mailed to you, you've done it. A lot of people are dicks, and I know that. And but the thing is, I've met some of these people in real life too, and they fucking back down. Yeah. But people don't really realize about me is that I'm the same way here as I am in real life. And so, I get a lot of that. So it is what it is. And that's fine. Like we got raided the other night by actual Nazis, which was interesting. And that's okay. That's not okay. You shouldn't be a Nazi.
Loose Johnny says once you have 3 stalkers, you're famous. Now I don't necessarily have stalkers, but I literally have every video, my live streams, before I even go live, usually 2 or 3 downloads before I even go fucking live.
Dude. At the height of my controversy, like after it happened, I was actually going through and looking at videos today and around that time, and I was getting upwards. I think I had one video with 10,000 downvotes.
Oh, wow.
Because some dude with like 1 million subs talked about the situation and they fucking raided me. So what I'm doing now on that channel is I'm going through, and I've again, this is like 8 years of content, and I'm unlisting everything. And I'm just going to start talking about gaming because it's like, to me, it's more fun. It's just like I'm not getting into that controversial shit. There's no point in it. And even this, even my main channel, 3 Buck Theater, I'm not going to do the general news. I'm going to do over here. Like I'm working on other things that are, because look, man, like this is my job. I don't want to sit there and go do deliveries fucking 5 nights a week. I like it because it gets me out of the house. But as more people get sick and die, like I put myself in more and more danger. You know.
Well, I mean, I don't mind. I like with StreamYards. It's easy. I just dual stream it on both.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
no, I like that. I enjoy StreamYard. It's worth the financial investment that I pay for it.
Yeah,
but
I just do it on both. So
yeah.
One thing before I go, you mentioned gaming. Pissed me off. So I built my computer. Okay, I just built it when I started doing this thing 6 months ago, and I have an AMD Ryzen 5 in there. Pretty good, solid computer. Okay, I don't have a graphics card because the Ryzen has built-in graphics, and it's actually really good.
As integrated.
Yeah, it's part of the CPU. Yeah.
Wow.
And most gamers say for most of your average gaming, it works fine. You know.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Okay.
If you want to do more intense stuff, get a graphics card. But my motherboard has a slot to add a graphics card if I want to get one later. So, but it works fine. It does I do my streaming when I do my Overwatch streams. It works, and stuff like that. Well, today I downloaded Doom, the new Doom game.
Oh I saw you tweeting that you had
Yeah. Well, I downloaded it. Took forever to fucking download, which will have high speeds. I don't know why it took so fucking long, but I downloaded it, which I really think some of those sites throttle it to where you can't download it as fast as you should.
Yeah.
But I downloaded it and I went to play it, and when I turned it on, it said, known issue with AMD does not support HDR, and the game would just be black screen.
Oh wow!
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And so I looked it up because the game has been out now for almost a month. So I looked it up. And I'm like, well, maybe there's got to be some resolution or something, right? No resolution yet. So I'm like,
see, this is honestly, God, why I don't fuck with PC games.
Yeah, well,
Right?
usually it's not a problem though. But anyway, so I just went
Yeah,
right back on
well-
Steam and just asked for a refund because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not even messing with this.
I don't blame you at all. Like I just got Mountain Blade Warband or Bannerlord, the second one, Mountain Blade 2. I've only been able to play for like 30 minutes. I have not had the time because I keep streaming. I'm like, I should just not stream and play Mountain Blade all night long.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but I should probably stream and talk to people. It'd be kind of fun. So I put it off. But it's like I've been playing Call of Duty Warzone on my PS4, and I like Modern Warfare. I think it's a very fun game. I feel like it reinvented Call of Duty for me. And but the game is fucking huge.
That's the only real Call of Duty game I used to play online.
Was Modern Warfare?
Modern Warfare.
Yeah, it was great. This is like evolution off of that. It feels like
I never played. And by the way, I never played the campaign. I only played it just for online play. That's
the only reason
I played it.
The campaign for Modern Warfare 1 and 2 are really.
I know
really, really good.
my son used to give me shit all the time. Why don't you do the fucking campaign, Dad?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just gonna play online.
Do the fucking campaign,
I don't
motherfucker.
give a shit because the story doesn't matter to me. Like the only stories that matter to me is fantasy type games, RPGs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, which by the way, that Final Fantasy VII remake looks spectacular.
Yeah, I've got to. I'm holding off on getting it because I'm working on. I still have Animal Crossing, which is just like kind of my go-to kind of hangout chill game. That's no rush, which I love. There's no rush, and then I'm working on the Call of Duty, which is I'm still going through the campaign on that one, and then I did boot up again, State of Decay 2 on my Xbox. Do you like zombie games?
Nah, not really.
Well, what about like simulator games or like survival games?
Meh.
All right. I mean, I would say look up some videos on State of Decay. It's a zombie survival sim with permadeath. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I could take a look at it. Like I said, the majority of gaming I played. I mean, most of my console gaming, not online multiplayer, was RPG adventure kind of games. So I would do the Final Fantasies, Zelda. Obviously, I was one of my favorites. The Zelda series is games. I like the Devil May Cries and some of those like God of War. You know, I played those. Those were kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then I also played World of Warcraft for 3 years and Final Fantasy 11 for like almost 6 years. For online play.
Okay.
And then once I got away from all that, I stopped playing for a long time. Then I picked it up again with I played Modern Warfare online for a little while. Just went on there, be competitive, and then get off. Then I did it again now with Overwatch for a while. I was doing it, and that's about it. It's like I have Final Fantasy 15, and I really love it so far, and I love the story. But I started playing, and I got so caught up on the fucking side quests, which is the worst thing to do on fucking Final Fantasy games, and I haven't gotten past chapter 3 because I just kept doing side quests. And then all right, I put it down and I haven't touched it.
I bought it when it came out in 2015.
Yeah.
It still sits unopened.
Oh, it's
in my drawer right now. I want to. I definitely want to because you're talking me about that Kingsglaive trailer.
Yeah.
So we watched that last week on the trailer park. Fuck, dude.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
I'm listening to it. And I'm like, is that Lena Headey?
Yeah.
And then like Lena Headey and Aaron Paul, and I'm like, I gotta check this fucking movie out. Holy crap! Because I mean, I remember watching the Final Flight of the Osiris and fucking Final Fantasy Spirits Within, which I still like that movie. I was actually rewatching a bit of it the other day because I found my copy of it, and the animation it holds up enough, but you can see how janky it is in some places. For 2002,
it was a while.
It was a while ago. Yeah, they've done more, but I really want them to do that is the kind of animation they should do for a video game movie. That's the kind of animation you do for a Xenoblade movie or a Final Fantasy film or some kind of saga.
This Final Fantasy 15 is perfect for them to make a fucking movie off of.
Yeah,
I mean, Kingsglaive is the opening, but if you made a movie off the actual story from the game, it's.
And that's the thing is, I think
it made a fucking movie, like a live action movie, even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think Final Fantasy is ever going to go there. I think they're always going to stick to CGI.
Well, and it works for the aesthetic. I don't know if they could ever do a live action and have it. People would be way too complaining because if they didn't get the chocobo just right, people would freak the fuck out. I mean, that's how it would work out. I mean, I remember when I watched the Final Fantasy Advent Children movie, I never beat number 7. And so I was I had my buddy with me. I'm like, all right, dude, fill me in on the story. And he's like, let me see if I remember it. and I don't remember what he told me. All I remember is that movie. It looked gorgeous, and they kept yelling out Denzel over and over and over again. So as soon as I get Final Fantasy VII, the remake, and then I beat that, because I'll do that this time. 20 years ago, I got through disc 1, and that was it. All I had time for back then. and then I'll go watch Advent Children again to I have a feeling we're going to see ticks ups for sales on that one. But anyway, we should definitely wrap this one up. Because I see people here, they're getting tired. Listen, guys, thank you for being here. 2 hours and 45 fucking minutes. Holy shit.
Keep a conversation going.
Well, I mean, yeah. Even Safety here said, Safety Zoom was here. He took off. But he says, like, what did he say? He went, he's like, oh, I'm out. Oh, no, sleepers for the week. Hold on, shit. I'm trying to remember. He says something like, he's like, you guys have too much pep. I'm going to bed. Basically. And Wandering Jedi here says, no problem. It's fun. Thank you very much, man. So anyway, check out Darth Lunga. You could find him on Twitter at Darth Lunga. And let me just, I don't know why I turned that off. Hold on a second. There we go. Sometimes I turn it off for something else I test, but whatever. And then I don't know, tomorrow's Friday. I don't know if I'll be on. I'll be doing deliveries probably till about 10 or 11 o'clock. If I do jump on, it will be later.
We'll be doing Fanime Friends.
Okay. Yeah.
Lewis will probably be streaming again tomorrow night after that, so I'll probably go on.
Yeah, I'll probably jump on. Like, if I jump onto the chat, it's probably because I'm going to be out making deliveries and whatnot. So that's I took the night off. I'm like, I'll take the night off and I'll chill. And I had a lot of fun, man. Hey, really appreciate you coming on again. We've had some good conversations. Did anyone I don't know if anyone contacted you over the Tiger King thing, right? Probably not.
Oh, I haven't even sent it out.
Oh, okay. Well, no, what I mean is this, because I posted it, so some people have seen it. Not many. I hope there'd be more, but I think like the fact that it was an hour and 45 fucking minutes is just way too goddamn long.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah,
that thing we did last night was nuts, and it was shorter than this.
Yeah.
So yeah, Johnny here says I will check out Tiger King.
I would. And if you get through it all, Johnny, on Saturday night on a different channel we have called Stream Junkies. We're going to be doing an in-depth review of all the Tiger King. Spoilers, warning. So watch it sometime between now and Saturday, and then come over to Stream Junkies.
Yeah, I've been reading up a lot today. I spent a lot of time reading up on the other stuff that the documentary didn't cover. And so there's like, oh my God, dude. It's a wild story. But all right, man. Yeah. So everyone, thank you so much again. We'll see you all later on, and have yourself a fantastic night.